The River to become player-coach Crystal Palace opening day of the season defeat by Liverpool. 4 months later, he became QPR's player-manager after Jerry Francis walked out. His first season was successful by QPR standards as they finished 8th, thanks largely to the firepower of Les Ferdinand. But the £6 million England striker came back to haunt his old club, who struggled all season. And they were relegated despite finishing on a high. The boardroom takeover by record magnate Chris Wright was music to Ray Wilkins' ears as he relished a fresh start. Currently 6th, QPR haven't made a bad one. They have to continue without Ray Wilkins.
It just knocks us back a wee bit. It's just it's a strange sensation really when it's such a nice man that I've come to respect personally and know very well over 6-7 years.
The fans are shocked. They thought Ray Wilkins was the club's best chance of bouncing straight back up into the Premiership. And now they're worried their top performers like Trevor Sinclair and Danny Dichio could soon follow. Tim Abraham, Sky Sports, Loftus Road.
Now to other news. A huge boost for Manchester United ahead of their opening Champions League clash against Juventus next week. Eric Cantona has been cleared to play. United thought Cantona would be suspended because he was booked in a Champions League game against Gothenburg 2 years ago. But UEFA says the ban no longer counts because Cantona missed a UEFA Cup tie last season when he was serving his worldwide 8-month suspension.
Stan Collymore is said to be deeply upset by newspaper reports that Liverpool are ready to sell him. It's been claimed that Liverpool wants showdown talks with him following missed training sessions. They're also said to be unhappy he lives 80 miles away in Cannock. But through his agent, Collymore says there's no truth in the stories and he'll soon be moving closer to Liverpool.
Manchester City caretaker manager Asa Hartford has laughed at stories that he now wants the job on a permanent basis. Despite winning his first game in charge, Hartford says he's just not cut out for the top job. Rob Palmer reporting.
From the crow's nest, Francis Lee still can't locate the man to command his sky blue crew. Asa Hartford assumed control for the first time while speculation about a long-term successor continues. A possible candidate, Dave Bassett, watched. Battered, Hartford nor the 26,000 crowd were impressed with the Manchester City performance. Sean Newton gave Charlton a 27th minute lead, but they should have expanded upon it. City's problems soon worsened. A freak injury to Scott Highley diluted their already weakened defence. Highley stretched it off with a serious knee injury which required an exploratory operation. Hartford remembered why he didn't enjoy life as a manager in his days at Shrewsbury. His team clung in there though. A new £800,000 signing, Paul Dickoff, provided much-needed spirit in his first game since signing from Arsenal. Dickoff's clever foot skills and turn led to the turning point in the game. The referee Trevor West claimed this incident took place inside the Charlton area, and despite it looking like a good old-fashioned shoulder charge, he called foul. From the penalty, Uwe Rosler called goal. Mr West's unpopular decisions continued. Charlton's Keith Jones was penalised for a challenge on Georgie Kinclancy. Jerry Craney punished Charlton with the winner. Much euphoria, but no pulling the wool over Asa Hartford's eyes.
There was a lot of schoolboy howlers, stuff that you don't normally see, and it's just very disappointing first half. But in the end, they stuck at it, and we've come away with the 3 points.
You showed spirit there to come back, didn't you?
I think so, and we may have benefited from the referee's decision as well.
I think we've absolutely dominated the 90 minutes, and simply for inept finishing and inept refereeing has cost us the game.
How long are you happy to carry on doing this?
Until we speak to the chairman and he tells me otherwise.
Are you enjoying it?
I couldn't say I enjoyed that one little bit at all. No, you got to be honest. It's a nice feeling we got the 3 points, but you like to play well and get 3 points, but you don't always do that.
A win, but as you hear, still warning signals at Manchester City. Rob Palmer, Sky Sports, Main Road.
There's a busy night of Premiership and Coca-Cola Cup matches tonight. So far, Fulham have pulled off one of the biggest upsets, the third division club knocking out Southend of the first. It's further confirmation of their revival under new boss Mickey Adams. The club is currently second in Division 3. Julian Waters reports.
Appropriately for a club whose fanzine is called There's Only One F in Fulham, 2 F words are the buzzwords at Craven Cottage right now. The feel-good factor. Planning permission to develop the ground was recently given. the famous cottage and the Stevenage Road stand will remain. And on the other side, on the banks of the Thames, there are plans for a development of flats plus a stand for the club. The finance still has to be sorted out, but the chairman is overjoyed things are finally looking up.
I'm very superstitious, and I was superstitious in saying that I think once we got that planning consent approved finally, the struggle that we've had to get good results over a period on the field would come to an end. But on the other hand, I don't want to start boasting about good results as early as September. There's a good spirit in the dressing room. Young Mickey Adams has taken over from Ian Bramfoot, who's in a kind of senior role looking after this ground development in every way. And so his enthusiasm has gone through to the players. He doesn't suffer fools gladly, he's tough, and he's ambitious. And all of that, I think, is helping us at the moment.
The former Coventry, Leeds and Southampton player has started well as a boss. Second in the third division and 2 up from the first leg at First Division Southend. But Southend pulled one back when John Nielsen's shot deceived Fulham keeper Tony Lang. And they went 2 up on the night and level on aggregate when Andy Rammell's neat header found the net. All that before half-time. But Fulham didn't buckle and fought back well. The game was in injury time at the end of the match when Mike Conroy notched the vital goal. A 2-1 defeat on the night, but a 3-2 win for the third division side on aggregate.
Well, the feel-good factor around the club, as I've said before, is magnificent. But, you know, I want to please them. I want to please them. I want to get a winning side back to these Fulham faithful. They've been starved of it for so long. All they've seen is the club in decline for the last 10 years. And maybe we're on that little slope upwards again. Who knows?
The fans greeted the full-time whistle and the place in round 2 with delight. They feel that at last they are on the road to revival. Julian Waters, Sky Sports, Craven Cottage.
Fulham's win over Southend wasn't the only giant killing last night. First Division West Brom and Reading also went out to lower division opposition. Rob Palmer reporting.
West Brom throttled at the throttles. No wins in Division 1, now dumped out of the cup by third division Colchester. West Brom led 3-2 from the first leg, but that was soon eroded by some spectacular strikes. Simon Betts' shot touched in by an offside-lucky Robbie Reynolds. Some dispute about whether he touched it, no dispute about the second, his third of the season. It appears that Colchester are putting in some shooting practice. All 3 goals were hit from the boundaries of the penalty area. Joe Dunn scoring what turned out to be the decisive goal. Paul Groves did pull a goal back to make it 5-4 on aggregate, but all too late for the demoralised Baggies. At Adams Park, second division Wycombe Wanderers took on first division Reading, evenly balanced 1-1 from the first leg. Reading, last season's Coca-Cola Cup quarter-finalist, fell to a 65th minute bullet from Terry Evans. 10 minutes later, John Williams gave Wycombe a 2-goal cushion to see Alan Smith's men through to the next round by 3-1 over the 2 legs.
Well, there are 5 remaining first-round ties to be sorted out tonight. The pick of the games is the Wolves-Swindon match. Swindon take a 2-0 lead to Molineux after the first leg at the county ground. Liverpool old boy Mark Walters set up the first goal for Wayne Allison, while the second came gift-wrapped by the Wolves' defence. Mark Atkins' mistake allowing Walters in again before Scott Leach eventually tucked it away to give Swindon a 2-goal cushion for the return leg. And the second leg between Wolves and Swindon is live only on Sky Sports 3. The show starts at 7:30.
West Ham have turned down a £2.5 million bid from Spurs for defender Slaven Bilic. They say he's happy there and he's not for sale. Bilic moved to West Ham last December for £1.65 million. The Hammers won't comment on reports that Bilic can leave if they're offered more than £2.5 million for him.
Wimbledon owner Sam Hammam has confirmed that striker Dean Holdsworth has handed in a written transfer request, but says we still love him. Mr Hammam says they'll just see how the situation develops, but manager Joe Kinnear says he won't stop the player leaving. Holdsworth, who'd cost around £4 million, is unhappy he's been stuck in the reserves after refusing to be a first-team substitute. He says he's not just calling the manager's bluff.
I didn't ask for a transfer to get back in the first team. I asked for a transfer to get a transfer. So, you know, hopefully that'll happen, and, you know, and the club will, you know, progress and carry on and do well anyway without me.
After the break on the Sports Centre, the players back the breakaway from Twickenham in rugby union's civil war.
And things are hotting up in ice hockey. The dawn of a new age for the game, the Super League, comes to town.
The top two teams of the Super League come face to face for their toughest challenge. The final contest to become the Premiership champions. Runners-up in the league, Wigan, crave the Premiership title. While the Saints are going for the season's treble, then they will be the super team of the Super League. The Premiership final sponsored by The Times. Wigan versus St Helens, Sunday, live on Sky Sports 1.
An hour.
And it was then, that moment.
This really can't last forever.
There is a motoring organisation that's committed to providing a better service to its members. So when you need fast, expert help, you know it'll be on its way without delay. On average, we reach our members in just 35 minutes. In fact, no matter where you are, no matter what the time, we promise to be with you in under an hour or give you back £10. To join, call now, 0800 171 171. Green Flag National Breakdown, raising the standard of our vehicle rescue.
Women, they'll borrow anything. Your t-shirt, your shirt, your razor for heaven's sake. But just try and borrow her Special K. They won't let you have it because they know you'll like it. Look at those flakes. Man-sized flakes. Crunchy, wheaty, malty. Well, those vitamins and iron, that's man stuff. Low in fat. Winning.
Kellogg's Special K. The taste, the shape, the breakfast.
Her breakfast.
For an instant quote on household insurance, phone NatWest on 0800 24 24 25. No forms, no fuss.
Welcome back. The main headline again. Ray Wilkins has stepped down as QPR manager. The club say they want a fresh start. Wilkins says he wants to carry on playing and will listen to offers.
Still to come on the Sports Centre, the end of the road for cycling legend Miguel Indurain and a brave new world for British ice hockey.
England Rugby Union manager Jack Rowell found himself without a team to coach today. His entire 43-man squad boycotted the first training session of the season. The players instead went to a meeting of the English professional rugby union clubs who now employ them. And the players have come out in support of EPRUC in its fight to break away from the Rugby Football Union.
This was the England coach arriving early at Bisham Abbey, more in hope than expectation. But it was to be a lonely day for Jack Rowell. You can't coach if you haven't got a squad. The scrum machine followed shortly afterwards. It too was to have a quiet day. That's because the 43 players picked for the squad were putting club before country and meeting at a hotel near Heathrow Airport to demonstrate their support for EPRUC, the new breakaway clubs organisation. Understandably, the RFU were not best pleased.
There comes a point in time when people have to be properly prepared if they wish to play against Italy, New Zealand Barbarians, Argentina. That point is yet to be determined. There's no point in anger. Disappointment, it will be very intense.
When the EPRUC meeting broke up, the movers and shakers in the game, like Sir John Hall of Newcastle, looked happy. So too did Peter Wheeler of Leicester, the man who helped initiate the breakaway. Then came confirmation, as if we needed it, that the players have sided with EPRUC.
The England rugby squad of 43 have shown their support for EPRUC by attending their scheduled meeting today, Wednesday the 4th of September 1996. Having heard their proposals, the England squad believe that the best way forward for the game is to agree in principle with their vision for the future.
What exactly that vision of the future is, we weren't told. What action the RFU decide to take will also have to wait for another day. The ball, though, is firmly in their court. Phil Edwards, Sky Sports at Heathrow Airport.
The Super League Player of the Year, Robbie Paul, has pledged his future to the Bradford Bulls. The 20-year-old Bulls skipper, who's playing rugby union for Harlequins this winter, has agreed a new deal that'll keep him at Bradford until the year 2000.
In motor racing, Williams-Renault have confirmed that German driver Heinz-Harald Frentzen will replace Damon Hill next season. Frentzen, who's currently with Sauber, will partner Jacques Villeneuve. Team boss Frank Williams is still refusing to comment on Hill's departure.
In cycling, the 5-times Tour de France champion Miguel Indurain will retire at the end of the year. Despite winning gold at the Olympics, Indurain had a poor Tour de France this summer. After dominating the sport for the past decade, he no longer feels competitive at the top level.
Cricket now, on the second day in the latest round of matches in the County Championship. 89 from wicketkeeper Carl Cricken helped second-place Derbyshire reach a massive 524 in their first innings. But Mark Lathwell hit back with a century to frustrate the visitors.
Vince Wells also hit 100 for Leicestershire against Notts. Captain James Whittaker was another to reach 3 figures.
Surrey's Brendan Julian continued his good form against Northants. After scoring 100 in Surrey's first innings, he then took 6 wickets.
Wasim Khan punished the Essex bowlers at Edgbaston with a century, but wickets tumbled around him as Warwickshire were dismissed for 253. Essex finished on 113 for 1 in their second innings.
Phil Tufnell grabbed the last 2 Lancashire wickets to finish with figures of 6 for 74 at Old Trafford. But Mike Watkinson did his bit with the ball, taking 4 Middlesex wickets to add to his 5 in the first innings. At stumps, Lancashire were 2 for the loss of 3 wickets.
England spinner Robert Croft hit 67 to help Glamorgan reach 401 in their first innings, but Hampshire's repliers started well. They closed on 192 for 3.
And David Leatherdale was one of 2 centurions for Worcestershire against Sussex. He shared in a stand of 219 with former England wicketkeeper Stephen Rhodes, Rhodes making 110.
To golf now, and with the Solheim Cup just around the corner, the European ladies team have been completing their preparations for the clash with the Americans at Chepstow. And after losing in West Virginia 2 years ago, they're desperate to bring the cup back to Europe. Jackie Levy reports.
Experience rather than form clinched Dale Reid's surprise call-up to Europe's Solheim Cup team. And captain Mickey Walker believes she's got the strongest side ever to take on the Americans.
Every point we win is going to be hard fought and well deserved, but no, I mean, I think we really have a very good chance, and I believe that we're going to win it back, but it's going to be a very close contest.
The biggest event on the women's golf calendar, it's the only one that can make world #1 Laura Davis sick with nerves. Of the 45,000 expected fans at the St Pierre course, 95% of them will be following her.
Laura is always a big draw card. It's nice the fact that we've got Laura, Annika, Laura, you know, 1, 2, 3 in the world. I mean, I think things are looking quite in our favour.
The fine-tuning begins this week with the European Open at Hanbury Manor in Hertfordshire. And for Harden Cup campaigner Trish Johnson, it's a countdown to the most nerve-wracking event in golf.
It's awful. I mean, I remember the first one we played in at Lake Nona in Florida, and I was playing with Mary Law, and 2 minutes before we teed off in the first tee, we still didn't know who was going to hit the first tee shot, because I don't think she was too keen, and I certainly wasn't.
There's more confidence in the European camp this time, and sights are set on a win. Jackie Levy, Sky Sports, Hertfordshire.
Ice hockey has become the latest sport to undergo a major transformation. The league here has even changed its name. The season gets underway in a few weeks' time, and it'll be exclusively live on Sky Sports. Steve James reports.
Bigger than ever before and better than ever before. That's the promise from Super League, who brought hockey to the streets of London today to spread the word. No sign of the once famous Wembley Lions, but Ayr, Basingstoke, Bracknell, Cardiff, Manchester, Newcastle, Nottingham and Sheffield are setting their sights high for a competition they hope will finally make ice hockey a major sport in this country, with the financial backing of people like Sir John Hall, who has the Cobras amongst his Newcastle sporting empire.
I'd been interested in the game for many, many years. I used to watch Durham for a long time, years ago. And it's an exciting game and a tremendous future. Potential's there, the base is there. All it needs is just getting held by the scruff of the neck, shaking it out, and making it professional.
Not all the imports at today's launch were new players, but the clubs have spent heavily to attract the fans. The new Super League can boast some impressive venues, holding up to 17,000 in Manchester's case. So attendances will be bigger than ever before this season, but ice hockey wants even more converts.
What we also need, though, of course, is a television audience. Because it's such an exciting sport, I foresee that over the course of the next 2 years, that we will grow a totally new audience for the sport, and that will be the television audience.
Ice Hockey Super League's 2-year deal with Sky will provide that opportunity and give people throughout the country the best possible view of the world's fastest team sport. Steve James, Sky Sports Centre, London.
Ouch. Before we go, late news and a twist to the QPR story. Ray Wilkins insists he's left by mutual consent, but owner Chris Wright says he's shocked and surprised that Wilkins has decided to quit.
More on that developing story in our bulletin at 10 on Sky Sports 1. Stay tuned for the live football. See you later.
A thirst for action. A union of strength. A union of dedication. A union of sporting revolution. As the world's top players cross borders, codes, and club colors to play in the most exciting club rugby season ever. Ford Maverick Rugby Union, Saturday at 2, Leicester v Bath, live on Sky Sports 1.
How much do BT charge for reconnection?
£100.
About 80 quid. I reckon like 20.
I'd say more than that, to be honest.
£50?
30 or 40 quid. About 80 quid, I suppose.
No, I don't agree with him.
About 70.
£60.
I would have said 90 to 100 quid.
In fact, it costs only £9.99 to be reconnected to BT.
You're kidding.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, I am surprised.
Yes, I think that's very good.
I think that's really cheap.
That's brilliant.
For full details, call Freephone 0800 007 800.
All George Malley wanted was a simple life. What he got was phenomenal.
You felt it, didn't you?
John Travolta, phenomenon.
Shampoo specially designed for men. Brill cream was good enough for his granddad. And Jack's just as sensible. Oh, for hair and scalp. With protein. That should keep him fit. And with a healthy-looking mop of hair, he might even start courting.
New Brill Cream shampoo, made for men.
For an instant quote on household insurance, phone NatWest on 0800 24 24 25. No forms, no fuss.
Hi, love. Sorry, love. Duty calls.
See the car?
Almira.
GTI. Let's go.
Cover me! Huh? Go faster.
I'm doing nearly 30.
Naughty boy. Turn left.
Why?
Litter. Makes the car look good. What time do you call this?
Sorry, Gov. Traffic was murder.
You'll never make professionals. Neither were they. The election, Almira. Tell me about it.
I refuse to believe in any god or government which is willing to trade death for death.
A passion for justice
They're gonna kill my boy.
leads a man to an extraordinary gamble.
I want you to help him get his life back.
You're tearing open a wound coming here.
I didn't do it.
In a strange town,
Read the signs.
your enemy can look like your friend.
I still don't hear any evidence.
We didn't need any. We had a confession.
And your friend, like a demon. Every step in the quest for truth
Joyce, for a great injustice is about to be undone.
brings you closer to the abyss.
And ye shall find.
Sean Connery,
Daddy?
Lawrence Fishburne,
Got them all fooled, don't you? Even that know-nothing Harvard fool, huh?
Ed Harris.
I push the buttons to make you do the dance.
Did you kill her?
Just Cause, coming soon on Sky Movies.
This is Sky Sports 3.
Now from Molineux, Coca-Cola Cup football, live.
It's been a long time since Wolves last had something to shout about, but there's a growing feeling that this might just be their year. So it would be a big blow to go out of the Coca-Cola Cup so early, and they've got a job on against Swindon Town. Wolves 2 down from the first leg. We're at Molineux, the home of Wolves, and are they going to try and rip into Swindon tonight? Our live Coca-Cola Cup football is the second leg first round tie between Wolves and Swindon Town. And it's got the makings of a very good night. Mark McGee is demanding that Wolves tear into Swindon Town tonight. He says it's a matter of pride for his side, but you can bet your life Swindon Town will be ready. Any team prepared by Steve McMahon would be. Our guest tonight is a member of Glenn Hoddle's new coaching staff. That's Ray Clements. Welcome, Ray. What was the view of the win in Moldova?
Well, the result was everything. I mean, the pitch wasn't good. We know the performance can be improved, but to win 3-0 away from home in your first World Cup qualifying game, I think Glenn is quite pleased.
And a quick word about the latest managerial departure. Ray Wilkins has left Queen's Park Rangers today. What do you make of that?
It's a shock. You know, Ray did a good job, I think. He's obviously had problems with finances there. He's not been given lots of money to spend, and they haven't had as good a start maybe as the board like. But I feel sorry for Ray, but then we all feel sorry for any manager who loses his job.
And what about tonight? Wolves against Swindon Town. What sort of game can we expect to see?
Oh, I think we'll have a cracker. You know, as Mark McGee says, they've got to tear into Swindon to try and get at least these 2 goals back. Steve McMahon's side are always battlers. They'll be well organised, and I would think Stephen McMahon will be quite happy going into this game with a 2-0 lead. I think that Wolves could quite well win the game, but I'm not sure if they can win it by enough.
Well, let's go to Molineux then and hear from the 2 managers involved, Steve McMahon and Mark McGee.
We've got to try and make it a cup tie. We've got to try and make it a very aggressive sort of start. I think we want to play as much of the game in their half as we possibly can. We want to create as many chances as we can. I think we've really got to go for it in a sense. But what we don't want to do is, you know, leave ourselves 3-0 down in aggregate after 10 or 15 minutes. So you've got to do it with a little bit of caution.
We said after the first game that we're only halfway there. There's still a long, long way to go. And they must be confident. They think we've got to get it back Molineux and he can give it a right good go. Sure he believed that, and we believe that we're strong enough to cope.
If you had no knowledge, you could guess which club he used to play for, couldn't you? Right out of the Anfield dressing room. As usual, it's a night that this evening could be full of surprises. That was the case last night. Colchester here, going to the Hawthorns and beating West Brom. I think this goes down as the big one last night.
Yes, I mean, I think nobody thought that Colchester could go there and get this result because their league form hasn't been anything special in the first 2 or 3 games of the season, but a couple of very, very good goals, and I think there's one coming up here which is a little bit special as well, so certainly they'll be very, very pleased. They'll be looking for a good draw tomorrow, I would think.
The Baggies did pull one back, but it finished 5-4 on aggregate to Colchester United. Paul Groves here scoring late on, but it wasn't enough. Southend pulled 2 goals back against Fulham. They were trailing by that same margin from the first leg, but there was a surprise for them late on as well. Fulham on the night, 3-2 winners. What do you make of these 2-leg ties at this stage? Is it a little unfair on those clubs that go away in the first leg and do a job thinking, well, we should be through now, but they're only halfway there?
No, I don't think so. We all know the situation before we go into it. It is 2 legs. It's the nearest the second and third division comes to playing European football, and you've got to prepare the right way for it. I mean, Fulham nearly threw it away, and then they got a lucky goal right at the end. I think Mike Conroy there, the scorer, I think he scored 5 in the last 6 games. I don't think he knew a lot about it, but it got Fulham through into the hat.
Came in the 88th minute, and at Adams Park last night, Wycombe Wanderers against Reading. They must be their biggest local rivals. The opener from Terry Evans, who's something of a hero in that part of the world. Miguel de Souza with a powerful run, creating the second for John Williams. And that's Wycombe through. Bit of a surprise for Reading, eh?
It certainly was, and John Williams won't get a simpler goal than that, will he? That's a certainty. But it was a smashing run from de Souza in the first place, wasn't it?
Final word on tonight. Wolves against Swindon Town. Do you think Wolves, first of all, can level it and then go on to win it?
I think Wolves can win it, but I don't think that Steve McMahon will allow them enough leeway to actually win the tie.
All right, let's go to Molineux and join our match commentators tonight. Andy Gray, of course, I mean, how many times do we say Andy back home? Certainly true in this case. And Alan Parry, who should have a smile on his face. A Wycombe man, of course. Alan
Yes,
Parry.
thanks very much for showing the goals, Keezy. What's Clem talking about? A surprise at Adams Park. Anyway, I don't think there'll be any surprises. It's about what's in store here tonight. We've got a really cracking match in prospect. The best stadium, I think, outside of the Premiership. A noisy and passionate crowd. And Mark McGee asking for one of those old-fashioned Molineux nights. It all looks set up for a bit of drama here, Andy.
Yeah, and Wolves 2-0 down, of course, as well, Alan. I thought that after the game at Swindon. I thought, this is the tie to be at, second leg. I couldn't think of a better place to come to. Molineux, wonderful stadium, great arena. 2-0 down the home side, and with everything to do. And Swindon and Steve McMahon, I think, will just be loving it. I think we've got a real match here where they'll be under an awful lot of pressure, Swindon, but they'll look to catch them on the break time after time.
OK, let's have a look at the Wolves lineup. Showing only one change from the first leg. The return of their key man in midfield, Simon Osborn. He replaces Darren Ferguson. The 3 centre-backs are under a little bit of added pressure tonight, knowing that both Keith Curle and Neil Emblin are almost fit again. And up front, Ewan Roberts is still waiting for his first Wolves goal.
Well, speaking to Mark McGee, the one thing he said is, look out for Steve Corrick. I said, I'm going to try and push him a little bit further forward, get him in just behind the front two. Hopefully he can have a bit of an impression. The one thing I will say, that the number 3, Steve Froggatt, they kept him very quiet, Swindon, down in the first leg. Now, if Wolves are going to do well, then I think it's going to come from Froggatt on that left-hand side. He could be a real threat.
Well, the Swindon manager, Steve McMahon, has really shaken up his team since the first leg. There are 5 changes in all, and he's got new formations in the centre of defence and in attack. Ian Culverhouse, who's a very stylish and experienced sweeper, is back in the side after injury, whilst Stephen Coe, that's how it's pronounced by the way, and Peter Thorne must be one of the youngest striking partnerships in the First Division.
Well, he thought about changing it, Steve McMahon, talking to him earlier. He wondered whether to bring Mark Walters in, who played ever so well, man of the match in the first leg. He decided against it. The old Liverpool traditions, if the side are doing well, I'm not going to change it. But if they're under pressure, and we suspect they might be, they're going to need experience. And in Seagraves, Culverhouse and Robertson, they certainly have experience there. But they just might nick one. I don't know how good this young front two will do.
Well, Wolves' gates are the best in 25 years these days, and the Hayward family have injected something like £25 million into rebuilding this magnificent stadium and into rebuilding the team. What they want, of course, more than anything else, including Coca-Cola Cup success, is to win back their place in the top division after an absence of 12 years. And I think the Premiership would welcome them with open arms. But there have been a few upheavals here in recent seasons, changes of management, changes behind the scenes as well, and everyone hoping that Mark McGee and his assistant Colin Lee are the men who can deliver them into the promised land of the Premiership. Steve Bull has never played at that level in his remarkable career. captains the team tonight, played for England, of course, and scored an incredible 272 goals for Wolves, but has never tested himself regularly against the best defenders in the land. Averaged 30 goals a season since he joined Wolves 10 years ago, Bull.
What did it cost? About 65 grand?
That's right. It must go down as one of the all-time steals from West Bromwich Albion. Swindon finally emerging with Mark Seagraves, who played in a final for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Liverpool, leading them out tonight. And to the familiar Molineux anthem, the teams take the field. And the Wolves fans begin to stoke up the atmosphere as their team attempts to pull back a 2-goal deficit. It's something, by the way, Wolves have done only once before in their history in a 2-leg tie, and that was 35 years ago. We'll be back for the big kick-off in just a moment.
You're watching Sky Sports 3.
No, no, no. You don't love me, and I know now. No, no, no.
The new 1996 Micra. Ask before you borrow it.
12 Foster's export for the price of 8. Fresher wine shops, adventures guaranteed.
Walker's new family bag is made for sharing.
Approaching accident. Please alert the necessary emergency services. I'm just south of...
Please go over to the verge. Try not to move. More help will be here soon.
AA patrols are specially trained to assist in on-the-road emergencies. It's not surprising that 2 of our members and their families were the 4th emergency service.
Yes, officer. This woman here may need some attention. Now, when you're ready, I'll help get these vehicles off the road.
Bruce Seldon. If I want his title, I gotta beat him. He's champion, and no one knows him. 9 straight knockouts. He's got a great jab. Bruce Seldon. It's like a jackhammer. Always to the face. Bruce Seldon. No one knows him. Ha! That's because no one wants to.
Mike Tyson fears no man. See his WBA World Title Challenge, Sunday at 9 a.m. and repeated at 9 p.m. Sky Sports 1.
"75 hours of live sport last weekend. Another busy weekend ahead of us. On Saturday at 2 o'clock here on, over on Sky Sports 1, Leicester against Bath, 2nd and 1st last year. Tonight, here on Sky Sports 3, it's live Coca-Cola Cup football. Wolves against Swindon Town. 2nd leg, 1st round tie. Swindon 2 up. Very busy night. A lot of live football. We'll keep you right up to date with what's happening both in the Premiership and the Coca-Cola Cup, north and south of the border. Kevin Campbell has scored for Nottingham Forest at Southampton, 1-0 after 4 minutes. Let's go back to Molineux and join our match commentators Andy Gray and Alan Parry.
Welcome back to Molineux. Tonight's referee, Scott Matheson from Stockport. Well, Wolves haven't been forced to play in the first round of this competition since they were members of the old 3rd Division 7 years ago. And to go out at the first hurdle really would be a big embarrassment for a club which has won the trophy twice, reached 3 semi-finals and got to the quarter-final last season. But it's Swindon, remember, who start with a 2-goal advantage, and any team managed by Steve McMahon will battle for every ball. He wouldn't stand for anything less. Extra time if needed tonight. Away goals would count double in that period of extra time, and if that still doesn't separate the sides, it would go to penalties. Swindon all in red, attacking the goal to our left. Jamie Smith with the first interception for Wolves. Come back into the side tonight, didn't play in the first leg. Romano, their new signing from the French league, has lost his place to Smith.
Now, one thing we know, Alan, if it's anything like the first leg, the two teams will attempt to pass it about. There'll be good movement in midfield. They won't look to go direct, certainly not early in the game. And Corrick has done as we thought he would right away. He's just tucked himself in behind the front two.
Roberts winning the header. Ball onto it, a combination we can expect to see a lot of tonight. And Swindon won't be looking to defend in any pretty fashion tonight. Against the likes of Bull, you can't afford to do that.
I don't think they've been looking to just defend at all. I always think you're asking for trouble in games like this when you have a lead. It's mentally difficult to think about being positive, but they've got to do it. Can't just sit back and invite pressure.
Certainly that has been Steve McMahon's message to his players. He doesn't want them to be negative. He knows that a long night at Molineux could be made even longer if Wolves were to get an early goal here. In fact, the last time these teams met in the competition 3 years ago, Swindon were in the Premiership, Wolves in the First Division. Swindon won the first leg at home 2-0 that time and lost 2-1 here just to scrape through on aggregate. Incredibly, by the way, although that was only 3 years ago, only 2 of the 22 players who started the match that night are in the starting lineups tonight. Stowell and Venus of Wolves. Swindon don't have anyone. Seagrave's free kick. Dropped it a bit short. And Robinson giving the Australian goalkeeper Frank Tallier an early touch. He had an outstanding game in the first leg.
Might well be needed again tonight. I think the only worry would be if you're Mark McGee. You look at the goals return from his team at the moment. 4 from Bull, and only that, or only other one is that Simon Osborn wonderful free kick against Queen's Park Rangers here a week ago.
And the goalkeeper gets another touch off Watson. Thompson winning it back for Wolves, but straight back to Watson, the former Spurs player. Ray Clements will know something about him, I'm sure. This is Stephen Coe, a young man that Swindon have very high hopes of. He's only 21. YTS scheme at Villa helped him to get his career underway.
I was assistant manager when he was there as well. Oh, good lad.
Peter Thorne, who partners him in attack tonight, a possible target for this free kick. Seagraves has come forward as well. Hammered back in by Robinson, or at least it should have been, but he miskicked. Drysdale tries to keep the problems going. And a very safe pair of hands shown by that consistent goalkeeper, Mike Stowell.
That was a good test for the goalkeeper. He hung it up, it was high, it was swerving, took it well.
Atkins, who made the error which led to Swindon's second goal at the county ground a fortnight ago. Playing at the heart of the defence because of all the injuries that Wolves have. He's obviously better known as a midfield player. Corrica. And it goes from Osborn. And then from Thompson. Out to Venus. Cross finding Roberts. Was that a handball? The referee says no. And the shot is deflected in by Osborn, and Wolves have pulled the goal back already.
Well, you couldn't have scripted a better start from Mark McGee's side. I actually thought Venus should have slipped it to Froggatt, but he elected to look early and play the cross into the box. Ewan Roberts does ever so well. He holds it up, that's his job. Hold it and find someone. And Osborn gets a bit of luck, a huge bit of luck. I think Talia would have dealt with that quite comfortably. He looked to have it covered. The block is an important block and a cruel one for Swindon.
Just what Swindon dreaded, just what Wolves dreamed of. And now we really do have a tie on our hands. Simon Osborn, who scored a marvellous goal direct from a free kick here against Queen's Park Rangers last week, scoring an equally important strike to really set this tie up. Swindon's aggregate lead is halved with only 5 minutes on the clock.
Well, we thought it might be special. And an early goal, well, they always make a game something.
Well, that must place Steve McMahon and his players in something of a tactical dilemma now. But McGee's team will need to keep firing on all cylinders. That's the message from the bench. Thorne's little downward header. Horlock couldn't reach it. Watson. Long ball. Looking for Thorne. And Seagrave still forward as well. Set up for Horlock. Caught in possession by Roberts. Nice little turn there by Coe. But Richards quick to see the danger. Headed back in by Culverhouse. And Coe did well to nick that one back for Swindon. Great effort. Well, that shows his confidence. He's got a corner.
Well, Mike Still just lost his bearings there, I feel sure. He's never threatening the goal. But this has been a super response from Steve McMahon's side. Very positive. He looks round there. You see Mike Still just checking where his goalpost was.
Seagraves forward again. Couldn't quite reach it though. Robinson is there, but Wolves have it back again with Thompson. Roberts got in ahead of him. And it took a good challenge from Culverhouse.
Well, that's a danger side. Without a doubt, I feel tonight, that left-hand side. They did ever so well, Swindon down there with Mark Walters, who kept Froggatt occupied all night. And very little was seen of Steve Froggatt as an attacking force.
Mark Venus, who began the move that led to Wolves' goal. Stowell getting right under the clearance. Over Robinson's head. Culverhouse lost the ball momentarily, but now Drysdale has it back. Looking for Thorne with the early ball forward. The defender didn't need to do anything. And Thorne complains that he was pushed in the back, but it's a throw-in. Robbie Earle has given Wimbledon the lead against Tottenham Hotspur. Wimbledon looking for their first win of the season, bottom of the Premiership.
Is that their first goal? I think that's their first goal of the season.
It is. Here's Jamie Smith for Wolves, who already have their first goal of the night. And here's the man who got it, with the aid of a heavy deflection. Good challenge by Coe. Now Horlock. Swindon showing good character though, Andy, to pick themselves up again.
Well, there's enough about this Swindon team to give Mark McGee a few restless moments. Don't you worry about that.
Drysdale. Thompson's clearance, one back by Leach. And here he is again. Horlock. Drysdale getting it back in again. Thorne is in the centre. It's come straight out to Darras, and the shot pulled about a yard wide of Stowell's right-hand post.
Well, he's a little unlucky, Peter Thorne. He did well to win the header from the cross. Watch the way he gets up. Make sure Still can't get there. Just knocks it down. And he just tries to flick this shot. Tries a little back heeler. Doesn't quite pull it off. I just thought he maybe should have tried to get hold of it. Keeper was down on the ground beside him. Little bit of control, quick turn. Who knows, but it's easy from up here.
Roberts wins another header, but it's Horlock onto the ball for Swindon. Richards. The route back to his keeper cut off. And he got out of a cul-de-sac quite cleverly there, Dean Richards, who Graham Taylor said has the talent to play for England one day. He's the man who bought him from Bradford. Well, a bit of a tactical dilemma now for the Swindon lads, really, Andy.
Well, I don't think so, and I just think that the way they're playing, the opening 10 minutes, had you missed 10 seconds, that's the goal, you'd be sitting here thinking, well, they're absolutely dominating the game. I think they've started really well. And they're so unlucky to be a goal down.
A lot of Premiership matches tonight, and Frank Leboeuf has scored for Chelsea, who started the night in second place behind Sheffield Wednesday. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1, that's the latest. And another goal for Nottingham Forest at the Dell. Dean Saunders scoring, Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 2. We'll update you with all those Premiership matches and the night's Coca-Cola ties as the news comes in. Here's Froggatt for Wolves, taking on Garros, the Frenchman, who did well.
That's a great battle. You hear the crowd. I know it's not the biggest crowd that's been in Molineux. As soon as Froggatt gets the ball, the noise level rises.
Roberts getting up. Still in a forward position here as Drysdale clears his lines. And Wolves back in the hunt for what would be an equalising goal on aggregate. Smith. The linesman has flagged the ball across the line, so that'll be a goal kick. Good run, though, by Jamie Smith, only 21.
I'm not surprised he's playing. Well, I thought right-hand side down at Swindon, they lacked a little penetration, they lacked a little bit of adventure. But I think in this young kid, we'll have plenty of that tonight, and that's exactly what's needed when you're chasing something.
Culverhouse with a real old-fashioned clearance. Bourne. And now Watson. This is Drysdale. Seagraves coming forward at every opportunity for Swindon. And here he is again. Crunching tackle there on Darras, and that has to be a free kick to Swindon.
Yeah, he aimed at Darras. Just made sure he got his body between Steve Froggatt. Watch the way he just gets his body there, just in front of Froggatt. There's always going to be a free kick from then.
Darras takes the kick himself. Seagraves moving forward. So to his Thorne, and Thorne used his hands to push the defender. Wolves free kick.
A little bit too much here. Not an awful lot you can do from there. Going to take an awfully good header to score from there.
Thompson for Wolves, finding Venus. Smith. Good first-time challenge by Drysdale. Roberts getting the header on. Bull turning it forward. Corica just beaten to it by Culverhouse. Here's Osborn. Smith trying to shake off the attentions of Drysdale. Oh, that's good play. And they'll keep it going out wide to Froggatt on the left. Wolves playing some good stuff here. Venus whips one in towards Bull. Danger here as Haller just about got his head to that ball to save Swindon. An ugly moment then.
He did it so well here. Because Osborn had made a really good run from the centre of midfield. But that left-hand side with Froggatt and Venus in tandem, they're really opening up and getting the ball in some wonderful positions. Again, look how much time and space he's got to play the cross in. Poole does all he can do is knock it across the face of the goal. And Horlock just gets in front of Osborn. That's good midfield play. That's a horrible part of the job that you've got to do if you're a midfield player.
Steve Bull in possession. Thompson comes short to receive it from Atkins. And those two combining well. Osborn. Swindon have 11 men back behind the ball. A great run by Thompson into the penalty area. That was so unlucky.
It's always difficult to control. The ball's so straight. Needed a little bit more angle on it. It's a wonderful run, but look how straight the ball has to be from Mark Atkins. That's about as accurate as he could possibly have played that. When it's as straight as that, it's always difficult to control it. It's coming over his left shoulder. Really difficult to control, but it was well delivered by Atkins.
Osborn's first-time ball was a little loose, but Wolves have got away with it. And again, Thompson eager for possession. Corica, the Australian, Osborn. Garris with a good interception, and that sets up Swindon in possession with Coe. Watson. Drysdale needs some support here. They're tending to get a little hemmed into the middle of the field here, Swindon. No real width at the moment. And when it is played forward, Coe is offside. Another Premiership update for you. And the Brazilian Emerson has scored for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough 1, West Ham United 0. Mistake there by Seagraves. He's given possession straight back to Wolves and is very relieved that they've only got a corner out of it. Corica's shot deflected away. It could have been worse for Seagraves and Swindon. Robinson's clearance. Corica pumping it back in again. Away by Thorne. And that looks suspiciously like a foul on young Coe, but not given. Andy Thompson gets away with the challenge. Now then, Venus caught by the same player in possession. A not dissimilar incident to Swindon's second goal a fortnight ago. It was Atkins that time.
Well, they got out of jail there, Mark. There's no doubt about that. Just didn't have a clue about his bearings, completely lost what he was trying to do. And he's a little lucky, in fact, he's a lot lucky to get away with that.
And he certainly looks really up for this game. Stephen Coe, he's made one or two excellent contributions already. Swindon have changed their front two, incidentally, from the first leg. Wayne Allison is injured, and Steve Finney relegated to substitute tonight. Here's Froggatt. Horlock.
That's a great ball.
Great ball for Darris. Watson uses the ball beautifully. He hasn't wasted a pass yet. And here he is again. Mark Seagraves. Darris again. This is Thorne. Only Coe in the penalty area for Swindon. And Atkins doing well to prevent the corner. These are Coca-Cola ties taking place tonight. And Garris dispossessed smartly by Froggatt. But Swindon, after conceding the goal, have, if anything, had the better share of the possession. And they still have the aggregate lead, remember, 2-1 now. Pollock finding Watson. Well, it's neat and tidy possession play. It's not really getting them anywhere at the moment. And indeed, in the end, Peter Thorne has conceded a free kick, foul on Richards.
I think that's right. Possession's one thing, but sometimes somebody's got to make a telling pass to open up something. But when you're 2-1 up, I suppose the theory being, Alan, the 2-1 up, as long as they dominate possession, and there's less chance of Wolves getting that second goal. That's what we have to remember, I think, tonight, that although 1 down on the night, they're still 2-1 up on the tie.
Foul by Roberts at the other end has given Swindon possession. Doesn't look too pleased with the decision.
You should say that.
Fearsome looking character when the teeth are back in the dressing room. Had them knocked out playing football. He's had stitches all over his head as well. And the referee tells him to keep his thoughts to himself in future.
You're not a proper striker unless you've got a couple of stitches about your face.
Here's Seagraves. Robinson, good ball. Leach. Just a bit too deep for Thorne, but it's forced Dowell to go all the way and concede no. He looked in horror, thinking it was going to be a corner. The referee said goal kick.
But that was better. That's what we talk about. It was a lovely ball in to Leach. And then he tried this nice angle pass. Now, that was a bit better. You know, there's plenty of tiff about that there. That was a lovely ball. That was the one that opened it up. It's a decent run from Peter Thorne, but the ball's always going away from him.
Garris. And the presence right behind him of Froggatt forced him into the error. Froggatt now tempting him into the tackle. Uses his right foot well. Bull! Typical bit of Steve Bull there. Didn't really look on at all, a shot. It was his first instinct, though.
I think the other side, it would have a different result. Because he's predominantly right-footed, he doesn't want to take this with his left foot. That would have been the most natural thing. Would have been the left foot across the face of goal. Tried to use the outside of the right foot. From then, when he made that his mind up to do that, that was always going to be difficult. A, to get direction, B, to get enough power in that sort of angle.
Foul there by Coe. A Martin Scott penalty has given Sunderland the lead in the big Northeast derby at Roker. Sunderland 1, Newcastle United 0. Well, it was expecting Hope to arrive. Instead, it was Swindon who had the reinforcements, but he did well. And Swindon back under pressure here. Drysdale's clearance.
Although I've enjoyed a massive amount of possession Swindon, and I have to say that in the different penalty areas, Wolves have looked the more threatening. I think that's been a major difference.
And Wolves change their mind about the throw. Roberts has got a corner off Drysdale. Osborn will take the kick. Richards, Venus and Atkins all forward. The clearance was by Thorne. Dangerous ball back in from Osborn. Froggatt. This is Atkins. Well taken by Richards. knocked over, but keeps possession. That's excellent play. Osborn caught in possession, but determined that that would not lead to danger. Leach's tackle on him. Robinson took a risk then against Corica. And Thompson has possession again for Wolves. This is Atkins, flog it out on the left. Well, he came an awful long way with the ball. Smith trying to get round Drysdale. He won't get round Culverhouse, though. And Swindon play their way out of trouble impressively. But the danger hasn't gone yet. Osborn's cross. Roberts on the far post.
That was a lovely step over from Jamie Smith. He's got injured for it. But he obviously either had the call for Simon Osborn or he spotted him. It was a great little step over. The ball's played down the line, over he goes. And Osborn's onto it. Lovely play without touching the ball.
Mark McGee, a little anxious about Jamie Smith, but he's back on his feet. In fact, I think there's been a caution for the incident. Andy spotting that for me. Drysdale apparently shown the yellow card.
Yeah, he definitely was. Good referee, and he allowed play to go on. And back he came and said, that, as far as I'm concerned, that was a booking, in you go.
Horlock. Richards' clearance, and cleaned up nicely by Venus. Just confirming the yellow card for Jason Drysdale, who was also cautioned in the first leg. And in fact, there's a new disciplinary system this season. Bookings in the Coca-Cola only count in that competition, although there are certain exemptions for the more serious offences. Watson coming forward and losing out to Thompson. So Wolves leading 1-0 on the night. Still a goal adrift on aggregate in this Coca-Cola first round, second leg time. The draw for the next round tomorrow morning, and most of the Premiership teams come in at that stage. The only exceptions, the 5 English clubs playing in Europe this season, who are exempt for one further round. Ewan Roberts took that ball brilliantly, but didn't finish it off too impressively.
No, that was a difficult ball. To look to reverse it to Steve Bull was a difficult one. Froggatt was charging up on his outside.
Well, we're back at Molineux again on Friday night for the next in our series of Nationwide League live matches. It's Wolves against Charlton here on Friday night. The programme begins on Sky Sports 3 at 7 o'clock. Jamie Smith, Osborn. Crowd warning him that danger was threatening. Good defending by Darras, and a chance to break here for Watson. They've got 2 men forward, Swindon, Coe and Thorne. And he finds Coe. He's taken the difficult route, but in it goes anyway towards Thorne.
He was a little unlucky. Steve Coe started really brightly. Not been involved in an awful lot in the last 10 minutes, but any time they've managed to get the ball up to him, the one thing that centre-backs hate is people who turn and go at them and run across their face.
Wolves have 5 men inside the Swindon half for him to pick out. Froggatt with a long ball aimed at Bull. There's Corrigan. Typically surging run, and a difficult one for Talia, who's a big friend of his, incidentally. The Australian keeper and the Australian midfield player know each other of old.
Well, he does his job here, the goalkeeper. It's not easy. He's got to come across a couple of people. It would have been difficult to catch that. He's made the decision to punch.
All the centre-backs forward again for Osborn's corner. Richards comes in and meets it first.
Well, that's half a chance. I don't know whether he just didn't time his jump right. He was drilled into a good area. He got a free header. He was clear of it. Yeah, he was just on the way down, I think, when he met the ball. Just mistimed his jump, just a touch. On the way down, just as he headed it.
2 goals for Wolves against Derby in his first season here in the same game, and not one since. Strange how often that happens, isn't it? Good header, finding Roberts, again by Richards. Here's Smith. Richards to the rescue once more. Atkins sees a bit of room to move forward. Swindon's marking is good, though, and Atkins' pass wasn't. And Larson has scored for Derby County against Manchester United. The baseball ground will be humming. Derby 1, Manchester United 0. So both Manchester United and Newcastle United trailing in the moment, and West Ham are a further goal behind at Middlesbrough. Robbie Mustoe scoring for the Borough. Darris. Venus, the crowd again warning him that danger was threatening. Thompson. Quite a windy night, incidentally, in this part of the Midlands. And the wind, if anything, is behind Wolves in this first half. Bull's layoff, finding Osborn. On it goes for Corica. Wolverhampton clears, but only as far as Bull. Roberts on the far post.
Well, surely it must have been a shout from Froggatt. I can't believe if he didn't.
Willow scramble on the edge of the box, and Swindon hack it clear, but it turned out to be a good clearance, and young Coe twisting and turning Venus. First time I've seen Coe, and I'm very impressed so far. Just 21, released by Villa, picked up by Swindon for £100,000. And they think he's going to be something special. Here's Richards. Drysdale's clearance could be risky. And that one was equally so. I don't think Steve McMahon will have given the rubber stamp to either of those clearances. Thorne battling away, but has given it away, and was fouled as he played it on. Relieved to hear the whistle go. Free kick.
Well, just a moment or two ago, I remarked that Ewan Roberts took a cross there. Now watch behind you, watch Froggatt's run. He comes in behind the defender. Give him a call now. Go on, call, leave it. He can take it on his chest and do anything with it. Whereas Ewan Roberts was always struggling without a shout to do anything at all.
Culverhouse getting it into the corner. Thorne chasing for Swindon. Froggatt again. Seagraves takes it off Thompson, and indeed Swindon get the vote on the throw. It's theirs. And Gianluca Vialli has increased Chelsea's lead at Highbury. It's Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2.
I can see the goal yet either, have they?
Marvellous stuff from the bridge. The men from the bridge, anyway. A shot here by Leach, who scored his first ever Swindon goal in the first leg, but was way off target then.
He was obviously watching Monday Night Football. The chip. First goal at Hillsborough. Not quite as accurate there. Told you it was a difficult skill, that.
Roberts got up brilliantly. Seagraves with the clearance, and it's gone in behind Richards. Good covering by Atkins. Swindon get the throw. Roberts, Robinson right behind him, and in came Leach to dispossess him. I think the words were exchanged on the bench then, but Roberts saw the funny side of it. So did the man who probably delivered the words, knowing Macca.
No, he's a quiet lad, you.
Robinson getting it away to Drysdale. The referee will want to have a word with him. And he's called Thorne over. It could be a yellow card.
Well, it doesn't deserve a yellow card, in all honesty, Alan. I mean, it's not as if the hands were up, the arms are up. They just did both of them go for it. I don't think there's an awful lot wrong with that, in all honesty. I think he's a bit unlucky, in fact, more than that.
So 2 Swindon men cautioned. Jason Drysdale and now Peter Thorne, who played his first game of the season on Saturday in the win at Southend. He's had an injury. Now a chance here, and it just fell the wrong side there for Bull, and Robinson scrambled it away.
You can see what Bully was trying to do, though. Again, down that left side. Alan, he wanted to try and drag it back onto his right.
That's a tasty-looking cross, and Talia with an acrobatic clearance. Leach for Swindon. The back heeler finds Watson. And Swindon continuing to play some excellent football. Not shaken at all, apparently, by conceding such an early goal. Plenty of football in this tie. And Coe again gets away from his man. What a smashing little play he looks. Thorne on the far post. Just about a foot too high for him.
Yeah, he opted for power, Steve Coe, but once again he's caused these big defenders so many problems. He's not going to win a ball like that, but I think what he does give him, he gives him great movement, great determination, good skill.
Miscued clearance there by Robinson. And a miscued cross that could still have embarrassed the goalkeeper. Steve Bull would have claimed it, no doubt about that.
Oh, too right he would. I mean, it's just a miss-hit cross. Goalkeeper's well in control.
Almost sold to Coventry by Graham Taylor with Steve Bull. It caused an absolute outcry from the supporters here who worship him. And he stayed on to go on scoring goals, as ever. Froggatt looking lively down the left-hand side tonight. Atkins.
The hard ball, mentioned it earlier, that straight one. Really difficult when you get some air in it, to get it down and stop it before it runs through the goalkeeper.
The most famous day probably in Swindon's history, incidentally, came in this competition 27 years ago. They were in the old 3rd division then, but they beat the mighty Arsenal at Wembley with 2 goals by Don Rogers. Still a legend, still has a sports business in Swindon. And for all the success they've had, climbing from the 4th division up to the Premiership and sliding down part of the way again, that's still the day Swindon fans talk of. David Beckham has equalised for Manchester United. It's Derby 1, Manchester United 1. Smith going forward here for Wolves. And the decision goes in Wolves' favour.
Well, it was delayed, the decision from the referee. He seemed to wait a long time. Thought it was a difficult one. Because Jamie Smith had control of the ball, would he have got there before it ran out? Certainly plays it there. It's a difficult one.
It's given obstruction against Robinson, indirect. Floated in, and a tremendously powerful header again. Dean Richards is going to break that recent scoring duck.
That was actually Thorne, Alan, that gets a header here. This is great defending. It's Peter Thorne who's marking because flying across. He gets a brilliant defensive header.
Thompson swinging one in, that's not easy. Roberts keeps it in the danger area. Darris beaten to it by Bull.
Well, he's asked to score goals, but when you come back to mark centre-backs, part of your job is also to do this. Great stuff.
Ball dispossessed by Horlock. And Corica suddenly closes down Talia. Horlock. Good challenge by Osborn. Here's Roberts for Wolves. Culverhouse looks to release it early to Coe and finds him. And typically immaculate control from him. Garris. Watson. Useful ball towards Thorne, and Horlock's in behind him. That was a chance.
Well, they're all screaming for a corner. But that was lovely play once again from Swindon. Talked about good possession, but this time they opt for the killer ball. I think Dean Richards does his job there. He makes life as difficult as possible. He misses the cross, but he's still alive enough to get back and, well, doing more than enough to put Horlock off.
Thompson. Tried to get it in early, and the deflection off Leach has given Wolves a corner. Played most of his games down the left or the right in the full-back position, but being tried now in a new midfield role and enjoying it. Osborn's corner. Leach missed it. Difficult here as Atkins went in on the goalkeeper. It's come straight back out to Osborn. It's driven in hard and low, and Swindon under the cosh then for a moment. That's a foul, surely. The pressure is relieved. They've got a free kick. Foul on Coe.
Well, they just went right through Coe. That's one of the old ones you used to get early on in matches. Welcome to the game tackle. Well up in your own half. Ball played up to a striker like that. Invariably centre-backs used to go through you. You usually get booked for that sort of thing these days. You know, when a free kick's given and you have a tackle from behind, it's normally a yellow card to follow. No, not a happy man.
And the tackle's flying in here, just to underline the cup-tie feeling. The possibility of drawing a Premiership club over 2 legs in the next tie, an intriguing one. And in terms of finance, of course, very important for either of these clubs, particularly for Swindon, who don't have a Jack Hayward in the background to write the checks. Good challenge by Seagraves. Ball battling away. who can't stop scoring at the moment, does it for the Republic of Ireland. Now done it again for Leeds United, who lead Blackburn by a 1-0 at Ewood Park. Here's Osborn. His goal still separates the sides here as we move into first half stoppage time. Swindon still in front on aggregate. Thorne for them. Excellent tackle. Good well there, Atkins. Here's Roberts. Taken off him by Watson. And your thoughts on the first half, Andy?
I've enjoyed it. The early goal really set this tie up. But I have to say, I've been impressed with Swindon's composure, even after losing that early goal. Apart from then, I've been impressed by their composure. Even though they've had to endure a bit of pressure, and they've played some lovely football themselves. They haven't looked worried at all.
They'll be worried now, conceding a needless corner so late on here.
How often have we seen a goal come out of something that just shouldn't have happened? They shouldn't be defending a corner.
Same towards Roberts, and the header across the face of goal, out for a goal kick.
I should do better. It's as simple as that from that. It's a free header, there's no real challenge on him. He's only 8-10 yards out. Didn't really meet it well at all. And it's perfectly poised as we approach half-time for a really blistering second half.
Half-time. The goal by Osborn, aided and abetted by a heavy deflection, which totally fooled Frank Tellier in the Swindon goal. Gave Wolves a marvellous start, but since then, you have to say, Swindon have played excellently, and they are doing well to hold on to their 2-1 aggregate lead. What a second half in prospect here at Molineux. Don't miss it.
You're watching Sky Sports 3.
Captain, what an unexpected pleasure.
The future of the universe has become too much for one captive.
I need your help.
I take it the odds are against us, and the situation is grim.
And now they're prepared to risk everything.
Risk is part of the game. You want to sit in that chair.
Malcolm McDowell, Patrick Stewart, and William Shatner.
Now we have a weapon of unlimited power.
No less, sir.
I have the weapon. Eliminate them.
Star Trek Generations, 10 o'clock Friday on Sky Movies.
Bravo is go.
Closing in on it, relay.
Monkey magic. Monkey magic.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Chef, look out!
Watch Bravo, and you could win one of 2 new Fiat Bravos.
Just for the thrill of it, just for the chill of it, just for the taste of it, just for the feel of it. Diet Coke, the pure peace is the best. Diet Coke, this is a mix of it. Forget the rest of it, just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
What's the worst kept promise in the world, eh?
I do take thee.
No, not that one. Tell me so cynical. It's this one.
Hi, George. Look, I can't stop. I'll give you a call.
Okay, great. We say it all the time.
Oh, hi, how are you? Can't stop. I'll give you a call.
We even put it on our Christmas cards. I'll call you in the new year. Oh, yeah. That's it. Daft, isn't it? We let a friendship drift just for the want of a phone call. So if you said recently you'll call someone, well, do it right now. And after all, you're not the type of person to break a promise, are you?
George, it's Tom. Well, I said I would, didn't I?
It's good to talk.
beastly blackcurrant, ghastly grass. No, silly, that's too much for some detergents. You need new Vanish In Wash Stain Remover. Just add 1 scoop of new Vanish to your usual detergent to put Vanish power in your wash. See how Vanish goes deep into the fibres, removing stains that some detergents alone leave behind. Spotless. Well done. New Vanish In Wash. Put Vanish power in your wash. And now new Vanish In Wash Liquid.
I try to eat healthily, so I think it's only fair that my dogs do too.
Don't I, Fraser?
So I feed pedigree chum. It's really digestible, and now there's new lemon rice.
Thanks to our vets and nutritionists at Waltham, the world's leading authority on pet care and nutrition, all the nutrients in pedigree chum are easily absorbed.
It's meaty, looks good, smells great, and you can tell how much they like it by how fast it's eaten. I think I'm fit and healthy, but not compared to this lot.
Pedigree chum. Top breeders recommend it.
Watch Bravo and you could win one of 2 new Fiat Bravos. Call 0800 138 8000 for details.
They said it was safe to go back into the water.
Get out of the water!
They were wrong.
It's here.
From the best-selling author of Jaws comes a terrifying new thriller.
It's coming up too fast. Look, look!
They live in very deep water. Whenever its food supply is gone, it will eat whatever it can find. And now it's attacking us.
The premiere of Peter Benchley's The Beast, Sunday at 9 on Sky One.
There's basketball here on Sky Sports this coming weekend on 2 at 4:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. London Towers against FC Porto. We're at Molineux tonight. Our Coca-Cola Cup games between Wolves and Swindon. Half-time, 1-0 to the Wanderers. A goal scored by Simon Osborn in the 4th minute, and all the various statistics underlining really what we've seen. Wolves have been at it, and Swindon, for the most part, have been mounting a rearguard action. 2 booked from Swindon as well in that first half, Thorne and Drysdale. Possession. 27% of the action in that defensive third of Swindon's, 51% of the possession for Wolves. So Swindon grew as the half went on. Ray Clements, part of Glenn Hoddle's coaching lineup, is our guest here tonight. The perfect start for Wolves, Ray. Not quite what Swindon would have wanted there, was it?
No, it was the last thing that Swindon would want, and of course a great start for Wolverhampton. It was a good goal, although there was an element of luck about it, and you need that in cup competitions. And I would think Mark McGee was thinking, well, this is going to be my night. But to be fair to Swindon, to Wolves, they haven't actually gone on from there. Here we see that the layback from Roberts, and we can see the deflection there, which gives the goalkeeper no chance. From behind the goal, there's the deflection, and Talia had already moved and would have made a comfortable save, but the deflection gave him no chance whatsoever. And I'd say Mark McGee at that time must have thought, just the start I wanted, now we go on and nick a second, and we've got plenty of time to get the winning goal. But to be fair to Swindon,
I was just going to say they haven't, have they? So
no, they've hung in there and they've played some neat football. And the lad Cowie up the front has looked neat and tidy, as though he might create something for himself. And Thorne's worked tirelessly up there as well. And you just think somewhere along the line, if Wolves aren't very, very tight at the back, Swindon might nick something.
Is that something Mark McGee would be saying to his team now? Be careful, because presumably the longer the game goes on, the more desperate they get, and the more chance then for Swindon to pinch something.
Oh, I think without a shadow of a doubt. And of course, Wolves can afford to be a little bit more careful now, because they've actually got that one goal. If it was 0-0 going at half-time, then they'd really have to throw caution to the wind and try and nick a goal early in the second half. But they only need the one goal to take it into extra time. And if they get the second goal, the crowd will get right behind them, and they could well get a third one.
So for the neutrals amongst us at this stage, it really is perfectly balanced, isn't it?
Oh, yes, we've got exactly what we wanted. We wanted that early goal from Wolves to set it up. They got that. I think we thought they might go on and get a second before half-time. But as we said at the start, Steve McMahon's sides are well organised, and they hang in there. They're battlers. They don't collapse when things start going wrong early in the game. And they've done that, and they've played some neat football without the real cutting thrust at the end of it.
And if Wolves do get the second, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, if they do get the second, and we get to the end of extra time, we're then in a penalty shootout.
Yet again, yes. I don't think it'll go to that somehow, but you never know.
Elsewhere tonight in the FA Carling Premiership, busy night, full programme. At Highbury, Paul Merson has scored for Arsenal right on half-time, the first goal that Chelsea have conceded this season, but they lead by 2-1 Leboeuf and Vialli. Blackburn 0 leads 1, Ian Hart. At Highfield Road, it's goalless, Coventry and Liverpool. At the baseball ground, Derby County took the lead, Jakob Larsson. Beckham has equalised for Manchester United. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Middlesbrough 2, West Ham 0, Emerson and Robbie Mustoe. Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Kevin Campbell after 4 minutes, Dean Saunders in the 23rd minute. Sunderland 1, Newcastle 0, Martin Scott with a penalty after 20 minutes, and it's Wimbledon 1, Tottenham 0. Robbie Earle with his first goal of the season. At Molineux, it's Wolves 1, Swindon Town 0. Coca-Cola Cup first round, second leg, beautifully poised. More live action next.
It's about giving the best coverage.
Sunderland make their debut appearance on Ford Super Sunday.
It's about being there.
Against West Ham United's new-look multinational side.
Talent. Scores! Commitment. Julian Dick. Genius. Raduchoyo. Football. Yeah. Scoring goals. Winning.
It's about Sunderland v West Ham Sunday at 3 on Sky Sports 1. Just part of a great lineup of football this weekend.
I love. Sorry, love. Duty calls.
See the car.
Almira.
GTI. Let's go.
Cover me.
Huh?
Go faster.
I'm doing nearly 30.
Naughty boy. Turn left.
Why?
Litter. Makes the car look good. Time do you call this?
Sorry, Gov. Traffic was murder.
Never meet professionals. Neither were they. The all-action Almira. Tell me about it.
If you watch Discovery Channel, you can feel what it's like to be a great white's breakfast.
And eat a widgety grub.
You can find out what spies in the sky know about you.
Big and gooey.
You can see how far you can push a performance car.
Great big grub.
You can fight off vertigo. Face first. Yeah! Woo! You can go walkabout across the Australian bush.
Where they've got widgety grubs like this one. And they eat them. Nice.
How real do you want it?
This man has a distressing medical condition. He's been undergoing weekly treatment, allowing him to enjoy a perfectly normal life. His condition is dandruff. His treatment is Nizoral dandruff shampoo. Because Nizoral has a patented ingredient that targets and prevents the main cause of dandruff. Nizoral dandruff shampoo, first aid for dandruff.
For powerful pain relief, there's an advanced dual-action formula that helps you get to pain before pain gets to you. Nurofen
Plus
codeine
equals
dual action
relief.
New Dolmio stir-in sauce. You spend less time making it, so you can spend more time enjoying it. New Dolmio stir-in sauce.
Shampoo specially designed for men. Brill cream was good enough for his granddad. And Jack's just as sensible. Oh, for hair and scalp. With protein. That should keep him fit. And with the healthy-looking mop of hair, he might even start courting.
New Brill Cream Shampoo, made for men.
The top two teams of the Super League come face to face for their toughest challenge. The final contest to become the Premiership champions. Runners-up in the league, Wigan, crave the Premiership title. While the Saints are going for the season's treble, then they will be the super team of the Super League. The Premiership final sponsored by The Times. Wigan versus St Helens, Sunday, live on Sky Sports 1.
Finals day this coming Sunday on Sky Sports 2 at the US Open, 7 o'clock. Tonight, Wolves 1, Swindon 0. Coca-Cola Cup football from Molineux. And we've got an update from the Dell. Southampton had kicked off at 7:30, have pulled a goal back. Richard Dryden, the goal scorer. It's 2-1 there. Remember all the details behind the scorelines in the Sports Centre over on Sky Sports 1 at 10 o'clock tonight. Let's go and hear from Steve McMahon. He's with George Gavin.
Steve, you haven't done much wrong apart from conceding an unlucky early goal. Is that how you'd see it?
Most definitely, yeah. I think worst possible start we could have, especially here at a place like this. You know, it gives them great incentive to go on and win the game, obviously. But I thought we defended well.
What message have you given the players before they left the dressing room?
Well, don't concede an early goal again, and we might have a chance. You know, we let them in it straight away. We must be tight. We must be confident. And I thought we played some good stuff at times.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers, thanks.
And one thing that Steve McMahon did decide to do during the half-time interval was make a substitution. Jason Drysdale, who was playing as the left wing-back, has gone off, and Sean Taylor, who's been a fixture in the side at Swindon the last 3 or 4 seasons, big, tough centre-half, has come on in his place, and that has meant that Robinson has gone from centre-back into Drysdale's left-back role. Andy. There's Coe. Seagraves. Good-chested pass, finding Coe. That's an excellent ball again. Dean Richards getting his head to it. Richards for Wolves. Corica. Now Ewan Roberts. Oh, it hit the back of Thompson's heel, and Swindon grateful for the gift. Wolves waiting so long to take their place amongst the elite of English football, and they really do believe this is to be their season. They've got a lot of long-term injuries. Jeff Thomas, Tony Daly, Adrian Williams, who they bought from Reading, Don Goodman. So when they're all fit and available again, they're going to have a heck of a squad.
They will do, Ian. They will do, Alan, but they've got to get some points in the bag, I think, first and foremost. And more importantly, before that, they desperately need a goal in this cup tie.
And they got themselves a free kick here. Pina's just waiting for them to sort themselves out before he launches it forward. And there was a foul spotted by the referee. Swindon's free kick. Ewan Roberts, the offender. In the league, incidentally, sorry, I was just going to say, Wolves have managed 2 wins, a draw and a defeat at Norwich, and amazingly, Swindon have got an identical record, 2 wins, a draw and a defeat at Norwich, so nothing between them in league form. And not much between them, really, over the 2 games, Andy.
No, there hasn't been. This has been very tightly contested. The only thing between them, 2 mistakes have cost 2 goals in the ties, Alan, and the only other thing between them was a really, really good opening goal from Wayne Allison.
Out injured, remember, he's been carrying a foot injury, and they just decided he needed a break to rest it. Venus for Wolves. 1-0 up on the night, 2 on behind over the 2 legs. Corica. It's good defending initially by Horlock, who shattered him all the way. Offside here, Coe. Brian Little deciding to let him go from Aston Villa. Well, I suppose when you're a youngster at a big club like Villa, it's very hard to break through into the first team when the manager can go out and spend millions on an established star. Good link-up play here. Froggatt. Referee says play on. Bull shot.
Well, somebody might get booked at the back of that, Alan. That's not like Steve Bull. Clear-sighted goal. Never really threatened it at all. He does really well, Froggatt. Now, he's got it, gets it out of his feet. He's always leaning back. The ball was always rising. He's at full stretch and, well, he gets caught. Sean Taylor about to be booked.
So Sean Taylor's first real contribution since coming on as a substitute is to end up in the referee's book.
Do you think that might temper his enthusiasm a bit, the next tackle, no?
None whatsoever, knowing him. I've got to say, he's my kind of centre-half. He's built like an outhouse and tackles like one sometimes. Thorne's layoff, play forward by Robinson. Coe chasing that one, not giving Venus an easy time, but he stayed very cool. Froggatt coming forward, playing with great verve down this left-hand side, Froggatt, and winning a throw in there. He's having a go at the referee because initially he gave the throw to Swindon, then saw the linesman flag the other way. Atkins. Osborn under pressure here from Watson.
Well, it's the same pattern. Opening 5 minutes, Wolves pressing. Swindon looking to, when they have it, to keep possession.
Ewan Roberts getting the flick on. Darras under pressure here from Froggatt. And this time he doesn't get the throw. Thorne, good play. And it releases a fine ball, but Coe is offside.
That was a little unlucky. Makes a good run, Coe, but to be fair, Dean Richards, he's controlling things. Just lets him run.
Atkins. Bull made a great run down the centre. He's released it instead to Corica. Now Venus looking for Bull in the middle. Osborn onto it. Bull takes over. Roberts far post. And that was a foul, definitely, by Roberts, who contests every decision.
I don't think he can. Normally I'm quite behind centre forwards, strikers, but I do think he does lean quite a bit.
To be fair, he only used one arm to push Seagraves over, but... Now, Coe. Thorne in a good position here. If he can get the cross in, that's what he tried to do, but failed this time.
Well, if that was a cross, it was a pretty poor one. It's a pity. Every time he gets turned and goes at the back three, he's troubled them. Again, he's got a great little step over, and then he just drops his shoulder. He's got time just to curl it in near post. Not quite what he had in mind, I feel.
Seagraves getting there ahead of Roberts. Played in the Premiership, Mark Seagraves, for Norwich and Manchester City, and he began as an apprentice with Liverpool. And the ball coming off the Wolves man. Bit of a dispute between Thompson and the linesman, but goal kick it is. An impassive look from the... I can't bring myself to say it.
Go on, good lad, well done. Now from now on, call him a linesman.
Okay, with you. Whose idea was it anyway?
Somebody in FIFA, no doubt.
Swindon still looking pretty comfortable. They haven't really been under the cosh from Wolves. We haven't seen the sort of sustained pressure that Mark McGee was calling for from his side, even though they got that early goal. So the tie still delicately poised. Go for Swindon. The Swindon goal would really stir things up, of course. Thorne. Barged aside, but no foul. Corica doing well. Horlock dispossesses him, though. Here's Watson. Darris. Oh, good return ball from Darris, to Darris from Watson. And the cross finds Thorne, far post. That was the opportunity for Swindon to give themselves vital breathing space.
It's a great ball in from Darris. It's all about Darris. Froggatt gets caught ball watching. He gets attracted to the ball, doesn't go with the runner. Look at Darris look up. He picks Thorne out beautifully. He's in between players. He might have been at full stretch. It looked like a decent opportunity. Gets a good head on it. The one thing you must do from that sort of range is hit the target. At least make the goalkeeper save it.
Well, he learned a few tricks from Alan Shearer when he was understudy to him at Blackburn, but I think the England man might have stuck that one away. Here's Froggatt. Thompson. Ball in the middle. Seagraves intercepts. I wonder how important a miss that one might turn out to be for Swindon. Well played, Osborn. Thompson. Now Bull. Over Richard's head, but then he let it run on straight to Robinson. And Swindon stay calm. No panic at all about their play. Taylor launches it long for Thorne. Atkins there first. And a complete miss kick by Mike Stowell. He wasn't really under any pressure either.
Little Stephen Cow did make the attempt to chase him, didn't give him a free kick, as it was. It's amazing how even if you're just 10, 15 yards away from someone, you're not used to being under pressure like that, how they can make a mess of it at times.
Scott Leach. And the handball, Wolves free kick. They've gone on with it quickly. Smith. Back to Richards. The crowd getting a little bit impatient then and demanding that Richards launched it forward, which is not what Mark McGee will want. Always been a great believer in a passing game. Darren Ferguson and Jermaine Wright on the near side here to the Wolves subs tonight. Only 3 substitutes allowed in the Coca-Cola Cup, unlike the Premiership, where you can have 5 named. Peter Beardsley has equalised for Newcastle at Roker. Sunderland 1, Newcastle 1. And it's a good night for the Italians. Ravanelli has scored another goal for Middlesbrough. 3-0 now, they lead West Ham. Those matches in the Premiership, of course. And a fair few Coca-Cola fixtures as well tonight. None, I would guess, more intriguingly poised than this one. As we come just short of the hour mark, Swindon still holding on to a 2-1 aggregate lead, though 1 behind on the night. Atkins for Wolves. Wolves lay off, and a good shot by Thompson.
Yeah, they hit that really well. Really sped across the surface. I think it's like the first real save that Frank Talia's had to make tonight. Just drops down to him, nothing else in his mind but hitting it early. It was a comfortable save at the end. He's actually stretching for it. Would have been surprised that it sneaked in, but you never know in this game. But he'd like to see a bit more of that Mark McGee would, I'm sure. Don't remember seeing Talia too many times flying across his goal first half.
And Wolves have just conceded a free kick in their own half. Foul on Thorne. There's Horlock. Watson. Culverhouse with a chance to come forward, but doesn't stray too far over that white line in the middle. Roberts has got to deal with Taylor now, and he goes up for those headers. He was winning most of them in the first half. The crowd again demanding that Atkins gets the ball forward quickly. Bull has come short to receive it and find Richard. Good ball down the line. Chances here, and the cross just eluded Roberts, who slipped at the vital moment anyway.
Well, that's important. That's the most important pass in football, I think. When you get time and space to put a really telling cross in. The Smith, no doubt Smith had an opportunity to put it, but the width of the 6-yard box if you want, and let people go in on the end of it. He just played it a little bit too firm.
Hour gone, Wolves just beginning to crank it up a little, and the crowd have responded to that. They've got a corner. Richards on the near post. Good defending by Swindon. Robert. And Corica's lack of control there has lost the initiative, but Wolves still have possession. Roberts doing really well. That's strong play. Thompson. Crowd sensing that this is Wolves' best spell. Froggatt for them. Well, it wasn't a bad effort.
I remember a cup tie that Aston Villa played against Swindon down at Swindon a few years ago, and Steve Froggatt smashed one in top corner from round about this type of area. He's certainly capable of doing it. He comes in like that. He's looking to bend it into that top corner. Just gets it a little too high.
Out the game for 6 months after a serious ankle injury, which led to all kinds of complications, and in fact his life was threatened at one stage by blood clots which had resulted from the drugs he used to treat the original injury. And Froggatt really looks a natural for this wing-back role. He gives Stowell a hard job then. Here's Roberts at the other end. Suddenly, it's Roberts against Seagraves. He's beaten him. Can he beat the keeper? Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, you've said it all. Oh dear. He did everything up to the shot brilliantly. He's not the quickest in the world, Ewan Roberts. And he always looked like he was going to get caught in the chase for the ball. Two of the central defenders go to Bull, and Bull wins it. But it always looks to me as if Seagraves is going to catch him. He does. That was brilliant. Well, you said it all. Dear, dear. That is a glorious chance. And there haven't been too many chances like this in this match.
The Wolves are turning up the heat, and the Molineux roar at its loudest. Roberts again. Can Wolves get the goal that would bring them level on aggregate? Can Swindon hold on here? Their excellent play so far has been rewarded by keeping Wolves to that single goal. But these are testing times for them. Robinson. Watson couldn't take it, and Wolves have possession again. 11 attempts to Swindon's 5 by Wolves, but at the moment it's Coe threatening at the other end. Just caught in possession by Froggatt. And this game really is opening out now. And Coe again threatened to get away from Mark Venus. And that's a corner.
Peters was struggling yet again. Coe's not the biggest in the world by any means, never will be now at 21. But he more than makes up for that with his movement and his determination. And I have to say his ability.
Swindon have a corner. Relief from the pressure. And it suddenly came to Taylor, and now to Leach. That's a good effort by Leach. And someone got a head to it on the way through.
Stephen Court was, I think. I feel sure it was. But I thought Seagraves had a chance from the corner. Alan, the ball's driven in and he misses the header totally. At the end of the day, they managed to scramble it clear, but as he drives this in, Leach, I think it's Cole. It is, who just doesn't get enough. Maybe 6 inches taller, he might have been able to get it down.
Certainly would have beaten Stowell all ends up because he was going the opposite way. So just as Wolves were getting on top, Swindon threatened a goal themselves. But Seagraves at stretch here did well. Really boiling up nicely now, this tie. Still 1-0 on the night to Wolves. 2-1 over the 2 legs to Swindon. And there's a useful ball, Thorne in. Almost. Richards did well. Well, it's almost like someone switched on the green light about 10 minutes ago, because the pace of the game has picked up. And the excitement level with it.
Well, Wolves had to step it up. Well, and if you're trying to get 2 goals back, and in 65 minutes, you've scored 1, and you've only hit the target 1 other time. In all honesty, it's not just enough.
Michael Hughes has pulled back a goal for West Ham at Middlesbrough. 3-1 now to the home side. Roberts putting Seagraves under pressure, but the big centre-half did well. Harris and Roberts again nipping in, but Seagraves is equal once more. Offside decision against Thorne. Les Ferdinand has now given Newcastle the lead, having been 1 down in the big North East derby. Newcastle now leads Sunderland 2-1. Well, what do you reckon here, Andy? It's a hard one to call at the moment.
It is a hard one to call. It just depends who gets more anxious first. I think Wolves are the ones who have got to press forward. They've got to start as the clock ticks over, approaching 70 minutes now, to take a chance or 2. He is a little limited, Mark McGee, in his substitutes. Who he can throw on, he feels might just get him a goal. Whereas Steve McMahon, I think, is quite simple. It stays as it is. His players do what they've been doing for well over an hour now. And unless someone makes a real bad mistake, or someone at Wolves shows something that they haven't showed up till now, he'll be quite happy.
Oof, dear. Robinson really caught that one on the foot then from Osborn, and limps away as Swindon give possession away to Froggatt. But they continue to battle hard here, Swindon. There's a difficult one for Talia. Coped nicely and finds Thorne. Robinson volleys it forward. Atkins underneath it. And Taylor got a size 10 boot right through that clearance. And the entertaining electronic scoreboards in the corner of the stadium at Molineux have just flashed up a sign. It's none over till the fat lady sings. Indeed it is not, whoever she was. Now, here's a chance for Bull.
Yeah, that's more like Steve Bull, isn't it? Turned in a flash and hit a super strike. More like it. Dragged it brilliantly onto his right side. It struck it ever so well. Always, I think you look at a goalkeeper, you know how anxious he is when he's flying across his goal, as Talia is then.
And the fat lady was nearly singing then. Although remember, a second Wolves goal and a 2-0 scoreline after 90 minutes would produce extra time. Roberts beaten by Taylor. Now, here's Bull again. What a great snapshot that was. Typical Bully. Venus. Roberts the target here, and he got the flick on. That could have been dangerous. Strange punch clear by Talia. He might be punished for that yet. The claim for handball, but there was no way in the world that Leach could have got out of the way of that.
Now certainly everyone behind the goal. What up?
Leach is still lying injured, in fact. Such was the impact of the shot. So to call that deliberate handball is ludicrous. And strictly speaking, he's playing people onside at the moment as well. Now the ball is out of play.
I'm not suggesting for a minute, but sometimes you do get people who close down the ball. It does strike the arm, and people do collapse.
What are you saying?
I'm saying nothing. All I'm saying is it has happened. Certainly everyone behind the goal went up. We certainly don't have the best view because his body's obscuring this. But this is a hopeless piece of goalkeeping because he does nothing. He should just catch that. And as he drills it back in, I have to say it might well have been the arms that got there. It's hard to say. But I suppose the referee didn't have the best view of it either. Well, he's right beside it. Well, I think the left arm might have played a huge part in stopping that.
Well, if it had been Stuart Pearce, it would definitely have been a penalty, wouldn't it? That seems to happen to him every game these days.
I mean, I don't think that's a penalty. As you say, it was driven so hard and fiercely from point-blank range.
Broggett swinging one in over Bull's head, but danger here. Oh, Talia preventing what could have been real embarrassment for Swindon then. It would have been an own goal.
Well, Sean Taylor just leaves us. I don't know why, whether he can't reach it, but he certainly just ducks under it. Look at that there. You just can't do that.
And Robinson very relieved that Talia reacted so well. Don't forget, you can pick man of the match, 0891 11 1101, 0891 11 1101 to nominate the outstanding player of the evening in your view. Richards getting forward here for Wolves. The cross easily cleared. And Horlock with a good ball forward for Watson. Danger on the break here for Wolves. But how well Broggett did to come and win it back.
That's where they've been disappointed. Alan, that's where they've been disappointed second half. I'm sure Steve McMahon will be worried. They haven't kept the ball as well as they did first half.
And that point ably demonstrated with that rather loose pass. Osborn the culprit, but his goal seems like ages ago now, has at least given Wolves a chance here of pushing this match into extra time, or even better, still time for either side to win the tie in 90 minutes, of course. Wolves get the benefit of the doubt there from the linesman. Richards. Well played. A great ball as well. Pushing down for Bull. Bull battling away in typical fashion, but he, in the end, gave it away. Leach. Darras doing well. Now they've got Poe and Thorne in forward positions here. But in the end, it was the wrong ball.
He had a chance as well, Alan, a real chance. But they've got numbers back quickly.
Corica. Venus. And the layoff straight back to him, and almost the second 1-2 between him and Roberts. They've got a corner.
Well, what? 1-1-2 too many. That's all. Certainly knocked down that super play. And they're a little unlucky.
And Venus will stay forward on the near post. Easy clearance for Robinson in the end. Leach couldn't get it clear. Corica's shot well blocked by Thorne. Ugo Ehiob has given Aston Villa the lead at Goodison. Everton 0, Aston Villa 1. And Martin Keown has brought Arsenal back level at Highbury. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 2. And another defender on target. Phil Babb for Liverpool at Highfield Road. Coventry 0, Liverpool 1. All latest scores from the Carling Premiership. There's Atkins as Wolves see the final quarter of an hour arrive. Still a goal adrift on aggregate. Chance for Froggatt to go forward. Barras barring the way. He needs some help here, I think. Certainly did. He's running out of play.
He's played him well there, Darris. Never once did he look to go and tackle. I think Steve Froggatt might get booked for that. Just a little bit of petulance, throwing the ball away. No, he's just having a word with him.
Steve McMahon itching to be involved. I'm sure he's had a bit of an injury this year, but his playing career is far from over, he says. 35 on the day of the first leg, and almost 2 years in charge now at Swindon. 18 seasons as a player at the highest level. And can he guide his team here into the next round of the Coca-Cola Cup? That's the big question. And Coe almost embarrassed Wolves then. He really is a terrier when defenders are in possession.
Well, he hasn't given any other centre-backs a moment's peace. He's been a real pest, I think, and that's a compliment. Because Atkins and Co have known that any time they've tried to get the ball down and make a mistake, he'd be there, right in their face.
And he's earned his side the free kick, taken by Watson, cleared by Richards. Bull chasing here. Culverhouse, calm as you like. Osborn, good ball for Corica. Jamie Smith on the overlap. But he switches play. Froggatt. And in it goes for Roberts.
Well, that's a surprise. You're chasing a goal. You're chasing a game. You play a cross in. One of your strikers wins it, knocks it across the 18-yard box or in the penalty area, and you don't have a player going after it.
Osborn. And again. Bull. It's very crowded now on the edge of that Swindon box.
Tight and narrow. Your football has to be so precise when you do that. You try and get through the middle with little 1-2s.
Richards. Well, they made a complete hash of that. Smith and Richards between them.
Yeah, it's no surprise to see Wolves dominating the attacking areas. But I think that as we approach, 80 minutes now, and I think mentally it's a big test for Swindon, because there is a tendency to back off and defend deeper and invite pressure. And that can be your undoing in ties as much as anything.
Yes, there's certainly been a big gap in the second half between the front two and the rest. The midfield almost lined up in front of their defenders.
Yeah, the front two have what been pickings this half, nothing else. Just scratching.
But if it pays off, Steve McMahon's tactics will have been spot on. Robinson gets it clear. Wolves think perhaps about making changes. Now's the time that Mark McGee must be considering a substitution. Smith gets the cross in, but too close to the goalkeeper. In the very last minute in that game, which kicked off at 7:30, Matt Letizia has equalised for Southampton at the Dell. Southampton 2, Nottingham Forest 2. Roberts beaten to it again by Sean Taylor. On it goes from Osborn. Difficult ball for Swindon, but Seagraves meets it first. And now Watson under pressure. Wolves come forward again with young Jamie Smith. Venus thinks about a shot. Claims it took a deflection and the referee agreed. Corner.
And they're probably happy it did. Certainly the shot was never going to bother Talia.
They're going to bring Jermaine Wright on here, Wolves, when they get the chance. Sort of player that they believe is capable of going on and winning a game. He's only 20. And the referee will hold up the taking of the corner to allow him to come on and replace Corica.
He's been the most disappointing player, I think. Steve Corica. I'm not surprised that this substitution's been made.
So Jermaine Wright, who was signed from Millwall and has scored only ever one senior goal in his career. It came in the Coca-Cola Cup last season against Fulham. Is that a happy omen?
There's your stage.
Straight into the near post. The corner goes over him and is brilliantly caught there by Talia.
It's amazing, isn't it? The one that he kind of quit at and punched earlier in this second half and they almost conceded a goal from was, well, this is so much more difficult. Full stretch, really stretching for it. And takes it brilliantly.
Yeah, Ray Clements would have admired that one, I'm sure. Taylor. A reminder of the number to ring to make your nomination a man of the match. 0891 11 1101. 0891 11 1101.
Well, they haven't done that often. Maybe is that a little sign? Mark Robinson just playing an aimless pass. Probably the first one that any Swindon players played tonight, to be fair.
Osborn. It's a good-looking ball. And it came to the substitute, and his shot well held by Talia, because if he'd let that one spit out, Roberts was ready to pounce.
He makes a great run. I think that's what opens it up. And he gets a little bit of luck here. Doesn't quite get the shot full on. The goalkeeper's got a good position. He's not as far out as that. And Ewan Roberts gets a tap in for his first goal this year.
Osborn. Looking for Roberts again. Seagraves first to it. Wolves, as you'd expect, dominating possession here, but haven't truthfully troubled Talia that often. It's been a tremendously battling performance by Swindon, and one with a lot of quality football as well. Froggatt tries to test them again here. Out it comes to Osborn. Blocked by Leach, a scramble on the edge of the box. Who's going to come out with the ball? In the end, it's Thompson. Froggatt. There's one for Roberts to go for. And the goalkeeper did the right thing. Good enough to put him off.
Well, they came a long way. Didn't really get there. But probably just does enough. It's a little bit high. Roberts can't quite get over the top of the ball. 6 inches lower, I think we might have had a different result. Always at full stretch, Ewan Roberts.
Still waiting for his first Wolves goal. 5 games before tonight. But he'll be all right. Top scored for Leicester last season, and I'm sure once he gets that first so important goal out of the way, he'll be fine. Swindon have earned themselves a bit of relief with a free kick, and naturally they're taking their time about delivering it. Thorne's header, easy take for Mike Stow, who launches it downfield to Roberts. Bull will keep chasing this one, you can be sure. And that's why Taylor had to hack it away. Osborn. Bull again in a great position. Important defensive header away. Taylor to his team's rescue then, all right.
That was an important header. Thought it was over him just for a second.
Ian Wright has given Arsenal the lead at Highbury. What a game that sounds like. Chelsea were 2-0 up at one stage. Now it's Arsenal 3, Chelsea 2. And here we have moved into the last 5 minutes of this Coca-Cola tie. It's Swindon having almost done the job, but almost is a big word in football. Venus, right. Now Froggatt. Andy Thompson. Osborn. It's good football, but can they find the cutting edge at the end of it? Bull. Jermaine Wright again. Venus delivers the cross. Talia comes for it and did well again. Jermaine Wright hammers it straight back at the Swindon defender, and the referee brings it all to a halt with his whistle.
Well, what a great cross that was from Venus. It's a rather strange decision, I have to say. But the cross was a beauty. Really saying, go on, get yourself there. And the goalkeeper did ever so well. And just from here, I'm not so sure what the referee's giving it for. It gets tangled up there. I mean, Jermaine Wright's entitled to go in after that. I don't understand the decision at all.
No, it seemed a fair old scramble for the ball, with no one breaking the laws. Wolves come again with Roberts trying to get one inside the fullback. Gareth lashes it into the crowd. Urgency about Wolves now. Time running out for them. Venus delivers another cross into the box, and again Talia first to it. Wright pumping it back in. Roberts is there. Swindon defending with their last breath now. Thorne falls on the ball. Watson gets it forward to Carl. The whistle's already gone, and Wolves have a free kick.
Football's nice and pretty football's nice, but there's no time for that now. It's simply for Wolves, it's get it down and get it in the box as often as possible.
3 minutes and counting. Mark McGee orders virtually everyone forward now, but it's a Swindon head that meets the ball first out of Robinson. Thompson pumping it back in again. Richards beaten to it this time by Taylor. And the long shot. Way off target from Osborn.
A little bit of desperation. You can bet your life that Talia will take his time with this, or as much time as the referee allows him. Quite rightly too.
Well, Wolves must have been thinking when they were 1-0 up after only 5 minutes that this was to be their night, but Swindon refused to read the script and lie down and die, and they have really played well, whatever the outcome. Garris for them. Dramatic fall. Seems to have done his knee in the turf or something anyway. He's lying injured as play goes on. Now he can have treatment. He's on his feet, and the crowd don't believe he was really hurt. Well, I don't think he'd have fallen over deliberately in that position. Desperate now for Wolves. Anything will do. Right. It's a throw-in. And Thompson can deliver a pretty long throw as well. So that's why Froggatt's left it to him. All hands on deck for Wolves now. In it goes to Roberts on the near post. Completely missed by Bull, but it comes out to Osborn, and Culverhouse blocks his shot.
Oh, that's a great stuff.
What a finish.
This is what cup ties are all about. A team hanging on and a team pressing desperately for the equaliser.
We're into the last minute at Molineux. Thompson has dashed across to the other side to launch another long throw. Roberts the target. Talia comes and is fouled by Roberts. Free kick to Swindon.
That's a tough call at times, I always feel. Goalkeeper commits himself. Roberts has got his position. He stands his ground. Yeah, they might be using that left arm. The referee can't argue his positioning. No more than 2 or 3 yards away from the incident. The best view in the ground.
And another goal for Middlesbrough against West Ham, making it 4-1 there, as Swindon defend rather desperately and are desperately happy to hear the whistle go. They've got a free kick.
Well, Mark McGee's usually quite an honest lad when you talk to him. I think he can honestly feel that his side haven't really done enough, Alan. 85 minutes, they've had the 1 goal advantage and really should have done more, should have asked more questions of not only the Swindon defence, which has played ever so well, but of the goalkeeper.
And if Swindon can just keep the ball in the corner in this half now, their job will almost be done. And young Coe's offside. Oh, you can imagine the frustration being felt by both managers now down on the bench. Mark McGee in particular, and Steve McMahon will just want to hear the final whistle. Here's Froggatt for Wolves. Can they snatch something right at the death? Bull shot, blocked by Leach. Watson turns it away. Back in it comes from Thompson. 6-7 Wolves players in this attack. They've got to get it in the box. Venus does just that. And the header down, almost found Bull. Comes out again to Osborn. Great effort. Good save by Talia.
Well, that was a much better strike.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Goalkeeper's made saves when he's had to, and he's rode his luck a little. Someone's punched someone he maybe shouldn't. But all in all, he's done everything that was asked. This is a much better strike from Osborn. He does drill this, and he does ask the goalkeeper a question or two.
He's got more work to do here. Wolves have got a free kick in the centre circle. Stowell comes out of his goal to take it. Headed onwards by Venus. And Talia's there again to Swindon's rescue. And the young Australian would be a big, big reason why Swindon go through to the next round, if indeed they do. And it looks pretty certain now.
Oh, you're a brave man.
Thorne at the other end. Beaten to it. And that's it. It's all over here at Molineux. And Steve McMahon's Swindon have scored a famous victory over 2 legs against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Talia thumbs up to his teammates, and they'll certainly return the gesture to him. He made 1 or 2 very important saves, both at the County Ground 2 weeks ago and here tonight. Wolves, after the dream start of a goal within 5 minutes, Osborn's shot deflected in, couldn't build on that, and Swindon's marvellous defending and composed football did the trick for them in the end, and they will go into the hat for the draw tomorrow morning for round 2 of the Coca-Cola Cup. Excellent effort by Swindon. And the final score at Molineux: Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Swindon Town 0. It means a 2-1 aggregate victory for Steve McMahon's team.
They'll be delighted. It's a great job done for Swindon Town. Man of the match lines are still open if you'd like to give us a call. 0891 11 1101. 0891 11 1101. We'll hear from Ray Clements very shortly, who said tonight the Wolves would win, but it might not be enough. What he says next could be very interesting.
You're watching Sky Sports 3.
Blue Sky is Major Hank Marshall's top-secret project.
It's too late.
It's a goddamn crime.
But there are some secrets he can't keep quiet.
What the hell are you gonna do about your wife? She's a disgrace to the Army and she's endangering your job.
When he went public about the project, she risked everything to save him. Oscar winners Jessica Lange and Tommy Lee Jones star in Blue Sky, the TV premiere, 10 o'clock tonight on Sky Movies.
Over 1 million people a month are joining friends and family. If you haven't, then hurry, because no one can stop the clock. Join by the 4th of October and you can save between 10 and 30% on British Airways flights. And you can buy up to 4 tickets for you and your family. So join now, it's free, and you get 10% off your 5 favourite numbers. Call 0800 05 55 55. And remember, the closing date on the British Airways offer is October the 4th.
New Dolmio stir-in sauce. You spend less time making it, so you can spend more time enjoying it. New Dolmio stir-in sauce.
If you watch Discovery Channel, you can feel what it's like to be a great white's breakfast.
And eat a widgety grub.
You can find out what spies in the sky know about you.
Big and gooey.
You can see how far you can push a performance car.
Great big grub.
You can fight off vertigo. Face first. You can go walkabout across the Australian bush.
Where they've got widgety grubs like this one. And they eat them. Nice.
How real do you want it?
Uh-oh. Beastly blackcurrant. Ghastly grass. No, silly. That's too much for some detergents. You need new Vanish In Wash Stain Remover. Just add 1 scoop of new Vanish to your usual detergent to put Vanish power in your wash. See how Vanish goes deep into the fibres, removing stains that some detergents alone leave behind. Spotless. Well done. New Vanish In Wash. Put Vanish power in your wash. And now new Vanish In Wash Liquid.
Put the gun down and give me a pack of tropical fruit bubblicious. And some Skittles.
It's okay, I'm with the police. It's cool. You look great. You forgot your boarding pass.
The biggest new releases are always in Woolworths.
All the washing and brushing in the world won't give your dog a good coat if you don't feed him the right food. Now, I feed pedigree chum, and you can see the reasons why. This new chicken and sunflower oil is Clifford's favourite.
Thanks to our vets and nutritionists at Waltham, the world's leading authority on pet care and nutrition, everything dogs need for a healthy coat they get from Pedigree Chum.
It's so full of meat, they love it. At the end of the day, dogs will be dogs, so the coats don't stay immaculate for long.
Pedigree Chum. Top breeders recommend it.
For an instant quote on household insurance, phone NatWest on 0800 24 24 25. No forms, no fuss.
A union of strength. A union of dedication. A union of sporting revolution. As the world's top players cross borders, codes, and club colours to play in the most exciting club rugby season ever. Ford Maverick Rugby Union, Saturday at 2, Leicester v Bath, live on Sky Sports 1.
Mike Tyson is back in the ring this coming weekend. He fights Bruce Seldon for Seldon's WBA heavyweight title. You can see it Sunday morning at 9 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. That's Seldon against Tyson. At Molineux tonight, Wolves won it by a goal to nil, but it wasn't enough. They were 2-0 down, remember, from the first leg. 18 attempts, but only 4 on target. 7 attempts from Swindon, 1 on target. Corner count heavily dominated by Wolves. You'll feel they did half a job. 3 booked from Swindon. Action areas, first half dominated by Wolves. Across the 93, nearly 94 minutes, had 55% of the possession. Had the better of those action areas heavily in the second half. And despite the win, they are out tonight. What about the man of the match? Steve Bull, 18%. Steve Coe, 35%. 13% for Froggatt, and the rest between them, 34%. Well, let's go and meet Steve Coe. He is with George Gavin.
Stephen, how much of an achievement is that to come here to Molineux and go home winners?
Well, we get to lose the game and go home winners, so obviously it's a great achievement. I mean, they pressured us really hard from start to finish, but luckily we were strong and come out with winning the tie in the end.
Obviously you play in the same division as Wolves, but does it feel like a giant-killing act?
Not really. I mean, we're up there with the best of them, so no, I wouldn't say it's a giant-killing act at all.
Did it take bravery to pass the ball around for 85 minutes under severe pressure?
Yeah, I don't think we passed it around too much, but I mean, we were chasing more than anything. But I mean, we won the tie, we've come away, we're through to the next round.
What was the message after going behind so early? It was an unlucky goal, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the goal took a big deflection, and obviously lucky deflection as well. So he just said, just keep at it, just keep battling, keep strong at the back, and we come out on top. Man.
This is a big club to put out in the first round, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, they're massive following and everything. It is a big club, but as I say, we're up there with them.
Did you leave Aston Villa because you thought there were too many strikers ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disappointed to leave Villa, but I got a chance to play first-team football here now, so I just took it and things are coming off.
Listen, you're only 21, but we don't think you're fit enough, so you are now the proud possessor of the man of the match mountain bike.
Right. Thanks a lot.
Is that it?
Not quite sure, is he? Yes, that's it. Haven't yet seen anybody that isn't surprised to get their man of the match mountain bike. How on earth do you get it home? Premiership tonight, all the scores are in. Don't forget the details behind these scorelines in the Sports Centre over on Sky Sports 1 at 10 o'clock at Highbury. What a game that was. Arsenal 2 down, came back to lead 3-2, but Dennis Wise got an 89th minute equaliser for Chelsea. Just a goal at Ewood Park from Ian Hart, enough for Leeds to beat Blackburn Rovers. Phil Babb getting his first ever for Liverpool at Coventry, the club he left to join them. 1-0 Liverpool at Highfield Road. Coventry go bottom. Derby County 1, Manchester United 1. Everton 0, Aston Villa 1. Echiog the scorer. Middlesbrough 4, West Ham 1. Aston Villa, incidentally, go second tonight behind Sheffield Wednesday. Still the only, and they'll be so until they lose the record, 100%ers. Southampton 2, Nottingham Forest 2. Matt Letizia with another late goal, 89 minutes at the Dell to salvage a draw. They were 2 down, the Saints. Sunderland 1, Newcastle 2. They trailed at half-time by a goal to nil, but came back with strikes from Beardsley and Ferdinand. And Wimbledon 1, Tottenham 0. Robbie Earle with his first goal of the season. Vinnie Jones sent off in that match for the 12th time in his career. Ray Clements has been with us all night. Well, I think if I can blow your own trumpet. 1-0, or I think you said they'd win it, but it wouldn't be enough, and so that proved to be the case. Why did you think that?
I just thought that, as I've mentioned a couple of times, Steve McMahon's sides are battlers and that they are organised defensively. And you look at that second half performance when they were put under a lot of pressure at times. But whenever Wolves got in a shooting position, there was always a red shirt prepared to lay his body down and get hit by the ball, get close to the person shooting and close down all the time. And that was why Wolves had 18 attempts on goal, but only got 4 actually on target, because Swindon's pressurising of their shooting opportunities was so good that it restricts them hitting the target.
Presumably Steve McMahon told his team, whatever you do, don't concede early. But they did. Perfect start for Wolves. Simon Osborn after just 4 minutes.
Yeah, there's good control there by Ewan Roberts, and he lays it there to Osborn. And the shot is hit quite well, but it's the deflection that beats Talia. I mean, Talia, for me, is making a comfortable save. He's going down to his right-hand side, and then the deflection just lifts the ball over the top of him. So, bad luck for Swindon, but the perfect start for Mark McGee.
18 attempts across the 90 minutes, but only 4 on target. Here's one that went missing. Now, surely, it's an oversimple statement to say he should have done better here, but having done all the hard work, what happened?
Well, I mean, to start up, he's got it onto his left foot, and I think he tries to just bend it with his left foot past Talia's right-hander. As we can see him, he takes on the last defender. Everything opens up for him. We now see him with his left foot trying to bend it into that top corner, but leans back too far and obviously goes over the bar.
Steve Bull, midway through that second half, with a typical Bull effort, I suppose this was.
Yes, I mean, it was a great strike. I mean, Froggatt played the ball into him, and Froggatt, for me, had a very, very good game, laid it into him, and one touch turned the ball into facing the goal and kept the ball low. But I think Talia had it covered, to be fair, and would have made the save if it had been on target.
And did make a save deep into stoppage time from Simon Osborn. What did you make of the keeper?
I thought he played very well towards the end of the game when they needed him. I mean, it's a good strike from Osborn, and any sort of mishandling there, Bull and Roberts were coming onto it. So for me, it was an excellent save.
Watching all of that has been Mark McGee, the Wolves manager. He's with George Gavin.
Mark, how disappointed are you that you couldn't capitalise on a great start?
Pretty disappointed, really. I think over the 2 games, I think we feel that we've now seen Swindon, another team in our division. We feel that overall we're a better team than Swindon, and that we've went out of the cup against them, so we've got to be disappointed at that. We huffed and puffed and never really made enough clear-cut chances. You know, credit to them, they got behind the ball, they stopped Froggatt and Smith really getting any decent service to Steve Bull or Ewan Roberts. They worked hard, but we're disappointed.
You said all along you had better players than Swindon, so was it down to 2 bad performances?
I don't think tonight was a bad performance. I think that maybe we didn't have the cutting edge, but I mean, I think they looked as I want them to look. The game and the team looked to pattern, looked as I want it to look. It maybe wasn't of the quality we reached last Wednesday against Queen's Park Rangers, but it's still there. I feel as if we're still getting a lot of commitment, a lot of effort. We've won a football match tonight. We've not won by enough goals. We've lost 2 goals down there that were bad goals. You know, we're disappointed to go out of the cup, but we're still encouraged with what we've seen.
I know you wouldn't criticise individual players, but you feel you and Robert should have got you a second goal?
Well, I mean, I think I've felt in 3 or 4 games that Ewan might have scored. He hasn't yet. I'm disappointed for him, and he's disappointed. I'd need to see the chances again to see which of them I think maybe he should definitely have scored. Certainly the one he turned back inside the boy and put it over the bar. I'd be questioning that. I would have thought he would have hit the target then. It's something we talk about all the time. It's something we work at training, and that was his big moment tonight to score then. As for the rest, I'd need to see again.
Do you feel the crowd got impatient again and wanted you to launch the ball?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think they realise now that we're as likely to score getting the ball into wide areas and working the ball and getting it to Froggatt and Smith as we are just launching it up to the edge of the box. So, no, I think they were content to let us try and get the goal our own way. I think they were obviously disappointed as well, but no, we didn't feel any pressure tonight for that.
OK, Mark, thanks very much.
OK.
They're supposed to be amongst the favourites to go up. Swindon have done them across the 2 legs. What did you make of Swindon?
Well, they're very organised, a good passing team, and with the lad Co up the front, they look lively as well, and Thorne did his work up the front there as well. So, yes, they're a good side, and they won't be more than comfortable in the First Division. Whether they've got enough to actually push themselves to the top of the First Division, I'm not sure at the moment, but Steve McMahon must be very, very pleased with the way his team started this season.
And he's waiting to talk to us. He is with George Gavin.
Steve, promotion was a season-long achievement for you, but how does this rate as a one-off?
Oh, well, obviously, cup games are important, and against the Wolves, it was a massive result. We'd done the hard work in the first leg, or we thought we had, and then tonight it showed a bit of character. We worked hard, tremendously hard, especially from the front. Stephen Cow and Peter Thorne. I thought they worked magnificently well.
Did it take bravery to hang on there for 85 minutes?
It did. Well, that's the thing. They've stuck it out for 85. We made it very difficult for ourselves, as I said, at half-time, but all credit to the players that they worked for each other, they looked determined, and they've done all the right things.
How about yourself? You spent £15,000, you come here where they spend millions and you turn them over, haven't you?
Well, that's right, but more luck than judgment, I suppose, you don't know. But 15's a lot. That was a lot for us, I tell you. No, but yeah, the lads are delighted. We're in the hat, and that's the most important thing.
And you're staying at Swindon, you've made that clear, haven't you?
I have. They've been fantastic towards me and my family. I feel as though I can get a lot of satisfaction out of Swindon. I've proved that. I'm enjoying it. The family are enjoying it, which is important. And what more can I say? You know, it could be worse. Grass is not always green on the other side, so we shall see.
Do you mind who you get in the next round?
Not really. Not really. I think we just got to enjoy it. and enjoy tonight first, and then we see what happens tomorrow.
Well done, Steve. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
As a delighted young manager making his way in the game, what do you think the future holds for Steve McMahon in that particular job?
Well, I think he's very relaxed there, isn't it? That's the most relaxed I've seen Steve for a long time there.
Might not have been 5 minutes before that, but that was a performance.
Yes, no, he's obviously delighted with his team's performance tonight, and he's delighted with being at Swindon, and it's nice to see.
That's nice to hear, actually, isn't it?
It is. It's nice to hear that a manager who has been touted for one or two bigger jobs is saying, no, I'm quite happy here at Swindon. I think I can achieve what I want to achieve at Swindon Town, and that's marvellous for the fans and I think for the players as well.
And what about Wolves? We've spoken of Swindon. What did you make of Wolves?
Well, it's a little bit frustrating for Mark at the moment, isn't it, Mark McGee, in terms of he's tried to change the style of play totally from the previous manager, and that doesn't happen overnight, and he's obviously working very hard on the training ground. They're getting most of it together, but it's just a case of that cutting edge. And tonight they've had one or two chances. You know, we've talked about Ewan Roberts, that chance he had there when he was right the way through, and they've had maybe another 4 or 5 half-decent chances, which maybe on a better day they at least force the goalkeeper into a save or they go into the net. That hasn't happened tonight for them, but I'm sure that Mark McGee, as he has done at every other club, will stick by his principles of wanting to pass the ball, getting it into those wide areas and then getting quality service into his front too.
You're getting to see a lot of football, obviously, in your new capacity. What do you make of that division in general?
I think it's a very competitive division, and I think it's one that's going to be very, very difficult to get out of. And you know, there are a lot of sides that are all capable of beating each other, and you know, Bolton have started very, very well. QPR started quite well until they got that defeat by Bolton last week, and as I say, there must be at least 10 sides that really fancy their chance of getting out.
It's often been said that it's a difficult league to play your way out of. Is that still the case?
I think you've got to have you know, your principles have got to be really strong, and there are times, especially in the middle of the season, when you try and play football and it becomes very difficult. But you have to stick by those principles if you're that type of manager. And Mark McGee certainly is, Steve McMahon certainly is, and there are other managers in that division as well who will want to play their way out of it. And that's great for football, because we all want to see, whatever division it is, Premiership, First Division, Second Division, Third Division, we want to see the ball played on the floor and football.
And that's a message that's coming down from the top now as well, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, it's nothing new, is it? I think you know, Glenn obviously has been a man who's always said that we must play football the way it was meant to be played, and Terry Venables before that also wanted the game played the right way as well. So it's nothing new, it's just as more sides are doing it now.
Was it a difficult decision for you to take when the phone call came?
It was, yes, because similar to Steve, you know, I've been at Barnet for 2.5 years, and we'd built something there which I think and still believe is going the right way. But England only knock for you once, and it's a great opportunity for me, and to work alongside Glenn, who I've known for many, many years and I've got great respect for, is a wonderful opportunity for me.
Well, we wish you well in the job. Not too many miles, I hope.
No.
OK, let's check out what's coming up on Sky Sports. Sky Sports Centre next, the stories behind all tonight's football, and plenty of it up and down the country. Top Sheffield Wednesday, bottom Coventry City. 12:30 a.m, more coverage from the US Open Tennis Championships. Day 10 live, 12:30 in the morning. And watch out for this one, Bobby Charlton's scrapbook. Manchester United in the 60s. Bill Folkes is the guest. This is tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. And they're concentrating on the Manchester United that was put back together after the Munich air disaster. 1963 FA Cup final. North Camberwell. And also what many believe to be the best performance United put on in Europe, bar none. And that would include winning the European Cup, the quarter-final in Benfica in 1966. All that and more with Bill Folkes on Bobby Charlton's scrapbook tomorrow at 11 on Sky Sports 2 now. Friday night football this weekend takes us back to Molineux. They are under the spotlight at the moment, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Charlton Athletic, the visitors, stung by what happened to them at Main Road last night. Can they recover from it at Molineux this coming weekend? 7 o'clock start. Sky Sports 3, Wolves against Charlton. There's more Nationwide Football League action on Sunday. Reading against Oxford. Elm Park, the venue, 12 o'clock, usual kick-off time. Sky Sports 3, that's the big Thames Valley derby. Reading against Oxford. Elm Park, 12 o'clock Sunday. Super Sunday on Sky Sports 1 takes us to Roker Park. Sunderland beaten tonight, but a chance to recover against West Ham. We took a hammering at Middlesbrough this evening. At Sunderland West Ham from Roker this coming Sunday at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. But Swindon came knowing they had a job to do. They lost the match, but they won the tie. From Ray Clements, myself and everybody else involved, it's goodbye for now.
Over on Sky Sports 1 in a moment, the Sky Sports Centre has a full roundup of today's sport news and results. While next, here on Sky Sports 3, Golf Extra has coverage of the US PGA Seniors Franklin Quest Championships.
Board needs 65. So they're absolutely dead level. Double 10. Oh, just missed it. Still needs 20 then. So a chance for Rosenau to nick this opening leg. The German needing 65. 25, double top. Yes, indeed, a good finish. Rosenau takes the first leg for Germany in this men's singles final. Only 3 legs, so pretty well sudden death here. So Mehmet Çınar from Turkey starting the second leg, and remember, you've got to get a double to begin with, and yes, he's got a double 16, so 32 scored. Competition rules a little different from what most darts players are used to. In this competition, the men's singles, you've got to get a double to start with. Well, he was nowhere near with that last dart, was he, really? So Rosenau not off the mark yet. .59 scored. Rosenau still looking for his first double. So close. Oh, tried the opposite end of the board. Still hasn't registered a double, so he still hasn't begun to score in this second leg. .78 scored. 332 still to go. Rosenau still got 501 to go. Well, he's trying different parts of the board here, and can't understand his tactics, really. He's firing the darts at all sorts of different places, and that's 9 darts he's thrown, still not scored a double. He's still not off the mark. .60 scored. 272 still to get. Now then, Rosenau, come on. And there it is, a double top, so he's off on the way at long, long last. 80 scored, so he's away, but he's got a bit of ground to make up. There you see the difference. .55. Still needs 270. $41. Still needs 380. So the odds favouring this man at the moment. $60 scored. 157 needed. And that was also a 20, so and again 60 scored, but still needing 320. So the Turk with a good chance of levelling it up here needs 157. And treble 90, that's 81, needs 76, can check out. And he can do it in a relaxed style because this man is way off a checkout so far. 100, so down to 220. But there you see this huge difference now. Oh, and he didn't want that. So that's no score. Overscored there. Needed 76, must finish on a double two. Ooh, 85, needs 135. So Chinar coming to the hockey, needing 76 once again. Double 12. Oh, just missed it. Needs 24. Rosenauer now 135. He's getting closer, but has he left it too late? An outer ball and a treble 20. And that's another outer ball, 110. So he needs 25, but Chinar with a great chance here needs 24. Double 6. Yes! So Chinar squares it all up, having watched Rosenauer race to the first leg. Bit of a struggle for both players there, but Chinar taking the second leg to square it all up, so we go into a decider. Rosenauer from Germany then. $80 scored. Remember, you've got to start with a double. And that was Rosenauer's problem in that second leg. Didn't waste much time in this one, though. And Chinar not able to get off the mark. $125. So the pendulum swinging back again. Well, 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 now it's Chinar's turn to struggle to get off the mark. $100 scored, needs 196. Chinar still needs 501. So close. Oh, dear me. This is just the problem that his opponent had in the second leg. $60 scored. So only 136 needed by Rosenauer to clinch this final. Chinar still stuck on 501 until he gets a double. That's double 10, he's away. That's 80 scored, but has he left it far too late? Look at the gap. 41 scored. Rosenauer, the German, needs just 95 now. Chinar's got a mountain to climb. Only 32 scored, still needs 389. Surely Rosenauer's going to get this one. Well, somewhat wayward darts there. 47 scored. It means, though, that he only needs 48. Chinar needs